We are mucus-free. 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 We are mucus-free.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. This is Professor Spira. Welcome to another episode of the Mucus-free Life podcast. It's been a minute since we did this, but I got a very, very special guest here on the line, and I'm gonna bring her on right away. Give it up for Brother Air.
What's going on, Professor?
Hanging in there. You know, trying to stay as far away from the stench of burning dead people.
Yeah. You have a real beef. I guess that's
a real dead turkey.
Yeah, real dead turkey to talk about today, because you really have disdain for this day. Almost that you should be laying down on a couch and I should be interviewing you, like really trying to get to the reasons why you really hate this day, you know, and this celebration. So this is the reason why we decided to do this, is because I really wanted you to kind of get it off your chest, and until next year, until we do it again.
Yeah. I mean, those of you that have seen my addresses and videos on the topic over the past several years, pretty much every year I go through the same rant and just get it off my chest and move on with life. But it's the ThanksKilling, as I like to call it. And and I know some folks, they try to make an effort to recontextualize and say, thanks living, and I get you, but there's too much of a history for me. It's too much of an ignorant history in a way that's, to me, is worse than even the religious holidays, because I know you sort of have that. The feeling I have about ThanksKilling, you probably have about the winter solstice celebrations, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm right there behind.
Yeah, I mean, you with me.
Yeah,
I know.
Religion, we can talk about religion and its ills to the culture and what it's done. But yeah, I mean,
it's
holidays.
It's all I'm
down to just
Taurus is the holidays.
Your Earth days. I'm down to that. That's about the only thing that I will bear witness to someone else. And then you have to remember you're only born one day.
Right. Right.
So when we say happy birthday,
right,
you're not born every year.
So, well, I mean, we create our own celebrations. So we have the Arnold Ehret Day now. We've instituted Arnold Ehret Day in remembrance of Professor Arnold Ehret. I wouldn't mind having, an Harriet Tubman Day. We create our own days and our own celebrations and that kind of thing.
Not a Harriet Tubman movie
No,
celebration.
no. Oh man,
By no means.
No, yeah, that
celebrate that tripe.
Yeah, after all these years of just being like, man, why don't they should make a movie, a Harriet Tubman movie, and why even bother, man? They're gonna mess it up.
The operative word is, you just said it, when they make the movie.
When they make it, yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. Why it's never gonna get done right until someone that really has that kind of passion and feeling for that kind of story. But when you let your oppressors tell your stories,
right? Yeah. I mean, exactly.
That's what you get. So
exactly, and that's see. Oh yeah, brother Khalif is over in the chat. He said a slave holiday. That's yes. The slave holiday. That's what it is, man. I mean, it's something about it. It kicks off this whole little holiday delirium because then they just got you right after the other, the ThanksKilling, and then they got you rolling into the Christmas or the Hanukkah, Kwanzaa / whatever you into. But then right away, before you've even sobered up from that, then they hit you with the New Year's. So you might be traveling somewhere doing
just all lies.
Yeah,
all lies.
It's all look at the traditions of it. It's all based in, or at least where it's been taken to now, is all about getting drunk, getting high, having sex, eating as much as you can.
Glutton.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a day of doing without, having the fasting, like I turned this day into a fasting day. There's no elevation in the holiday. The way that they try to mask elevation is getting together with family. Like that's we're supposed to respect it and accept it because the family, it's supposed to be about family. It's about the family that eats together dies together. I mean, that's that type of that type of thing.
And we have some families that's trying to do a vegan Thanksgiving. They're trying to turn some of their family members on to some vegetarian type of delicacies, I guess. That's fine. I mean, I get it because of, at the least, you have a day off work. That's what most people kind of look at it as, a day off work. So if you can slip a little poison in their coffee, then I'm good with that. So some people use it as a teaching moment. But I mean, I don't, but I know a few people who have called me this year and told me, hey, we're doing this.
Right.
And they think they're doing something good. So I guess it is good. They're trying to say, hey, look, we don't have to kill the turkey and eat like this, and maybe they can take it on past today, and and some people, I know the Brother Air salad is being served at one of the the families meetings, meeting up. So that's always good. Who is this Brother Air? So that might get them to the website.
Right.
To check out, the books and everything. So, I don't know. You just have to really kind of pick your spots. I choose to demonize the day.
Yeah.
Because of culture. Culture is not moving ahead. You know, culture we're supposed to be trying to refine ourselves, and that's just not what's happening.
Right.
It seems like people who look like me seems to take the position of, if you can't beat them, join them.
Right.
Well, we got a day off. Well, there's a lot of things you can do on a day off. I mean, you eat every day. Most people eat every day.
Right.
You know, they have dinner every day. So what's really the difference? I guess some family might come in town and visit you. And, you know, other than that, but, you know, you eat every day. So the culture is really not moving ahead, man. You know, I'm talking about the conscious culture. You know, the folks who call themselves conscious, man, they're not doing a lot to create new things and new ways to observe days. I mean, the only thing I've heard about is maybe Kwanzaa, you know, in the last 50 years. And that's so watered down now that you know, I haven't been to a Kwanzaa event. So, I mean, I think you have to start with your family. And with my family, we instituted a fasting thing, you know, fasting,
right.
You know, like on ThanksKilling and on Christmas. That's what that was about. My young boys at the time, they were fasting, man, when one was like 9, and the other one was like 2 or something. And they were, you know, they were fasting, man, on these days, you know, drinking a little juice, you know. So
right.
They're not going to die if they don't get food every day, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
You just got to get out of that mindset of the children. Oh my God, you got to feed them, and they won't develop and all this. So yeah, man. But now it's done taken on a real love affair. You know, it's like a real love affair that the people have for. You know, you go in these stores and they greet you when you spend money. And they're like, you have a happy Thanksgiving. Well, you're just assuming that I'm
doing it. Yeah, right.
You can't assume, but most people are. So they just assume that everybody's doing it. And I just look at them like, you know, when they say it, I don't say one word back to them. You know, and so
I use this time to try and just look at the history, because this is one of those so-called, you know, holidays where, like you said, it's a slave holiday. It's a slave holiday. It's a genocide holiday. It is a subjugation, based on subjugation. Put my boot on your throat and demand that you say thank you. You know, I'm gonna put your head in a vice, and you better, you know, kiss my ring.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I get mad about. It's for the history. So I got up here this the Trail of Tears, which was the relocation of tens of thousands of native folks, slaves, bunch of people. They was relocating. Yeah. And I'm gonna read this Trail of Tears, a series of forced relocations of approximately 60,000 Native Americans in the United States from their ancestral homelands in the southeastern United States to areas to the west of the Mississippi River that had been designated as Indian Territory. The forced relocation were carried out by government authorities following the passage of the Indian Removal Act in 1830. The relocated peoples suffered from exposure disease and starvation while en route to their new designated reserve, and approximately 13,000 people, more or almost, it could be almost up to 20,000 people died before reaching their destinations or shortly after from disease. The forced removals included members of Cherokee, Muskogee Creek, Seminole, Chickasaw,
Black,
Choctaw. Well, and they, as
Those
well
who
as
live
their
out.
as well as their African slaves.
Yeah, exactly.
The phrase Trail of Tears originates from the description of the removal of many Native American tribes, including Cherokee Nation relocation in 1838. So one of the things that burns me so much is that the patriotism. You know, that's why I would have a little more problem with this one. It's like we said, that's a whole other issue, like trying to deal with the religious stuff and unwinding that. Really, it's tough. It's tougher than this because, or it should be tougher than this, because once you get off into religion, now you're starting to talk about faith and people's mythologies and that kind of thing, and you can't have a debate. You know, I mean, it's futile oftentimes to have debates about these belief systems. At least other people can do that. I don't want to waste my time trying to have
why?
Get people into the history of their religion. I'm not gonna stand for this America is great and America the beautiful, and we're sitting down having a meal with the folks that we just brutalized and forced off their land. And it was the day, I'm sure the happy slave is a happy slave day. I'm not on that at all. So that level of ignorance I cannot tolerate in my presence. So when it comes near me,
that's what you have when it comes to black folks who are working inside the system. They're happy slaves, so they celebrate Happy Slave Day.
That's what we should call it. Yeah, happy Slave Day. Yeah, next time somebody says, happy thing, instead of saying as I used to be, happy thanks, I'll be like, yeah, happy ThanksKilling. Now I'll be like, happy Slave Day.
Happy Slave Day.
Happy Slave Day.
That's what it is in modern times. You can refer to that now because that's who's celebrating it. And those ignorant Caucasians who propagate it, they just don't know nothing.
Yeah.
So, they just don't know nothing. So, and then, but for people of color, any color, but primarily black folks, man, they have really lost their footing, on a reality.
Yeah.
They're so far gone. We talk about I would rather have a crackhead or a heroin addict around me than have some unconscious black people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you just can't trust them at all because they just don't know nothing. You know what I mean? They have just been like totally anesthetized. And it's became almost caricature like, to see black folks operating in the society, keeping this thing alive.
Right.
It's not a pretty sight. And I've said it before, black people overall people have become master rationalizers.
Yeah.
We can rationalize any kind of demonstrative behavior.
Right.
Black folks can rationalize anything. And basically that's what you get today. start calling folks up and seeing what they say, why they sitting around the turkey, and why they sitting around the dinner table and having the gathering, having everybody over their house. Start seeing what they say.
Right.
Listen to the stories.
Yeah.
Listen to the rationalizations of why they're doing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
I'll take the day off. Anybody will take a day off.
But would you even frame that you gave too much credit that they, I mean, you talking about people don't know how to spell the word rationalization. They don't know. They wouldn't even know what you're talking about. You try to, like, how do you rationalize this? They'll look up at you with grease coming down their chin.
They won't look it up. Look it up. That's an old concept. Look in a dictionary.
Well, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, but they won't. I mean, they don't know. They don't.
Talk to them.
I mean, it's like they don't even know nothing's wrong. And we looking at images of for those of you that just hearing the audio, we got images up of all the traditional ThanksKilling meals, all the different.
And I've sat down to plenty of them in my life, at least 20 years of them. Being a part of it, man. They're cooking them, man, for the family. You know, I was blind, but now I see.
Right.
You dig?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, man. And the same thing. Yeah, I mean, we was all here, but that's why we passionate about like really getting into like really getting into this. That's one thing I don't see a lot of folks get into in the whole, I follow a lot of the different, or I try to keep up to date with the different things people talking about in the alternative, like, it's not really alternative lifestyle, whatever you want to call what folks are trying to do, veganism and raw foodism and fasting and all that kind of stuff.
Eating. That's all it is eating, another form of eating.
Yeah.
That's all it is, eating, We eating like this now, So.
Eating but the problem even with saying that, now we have problems with people not eating enough. And I tend to deal with those folks. We got people.
When you say not eating enough of.
Like where they're trying to do fast that they have no business doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm right in the middle of one, and I was gonna actually, because a couple of people have been hitting me up this week and asked me, was I still fasting? And yes, I am still fasting since July 15th. So yeah, I'm still juice fasting, and I've been doing some dry fasting, actually right now. So, people will get into this fasting thing. Where did that come off as a way of stepping into a health ritual? Like really trying to do really long fasts. What happened there?
Well, I think it is, there is this intense rejection, or not rejection, but kind of rejection. What's the word I'm looking for? Resistance. This intense resistance to dealing with the concept or the practice of the transition diet. That saying transition diet amongst some people, I'm noticing it's almost like a word that makes them cringe.
Before you even go on, they didn't know. Who knew about the transition?
I'm talking about people that know about it. I'm talking about people that have, watched my videos or read the Mucusless Diet book, or, have been exposed to the idea of transition and have consciously rejected it, often out of ego and hubris and ignorance, because they literally think they're better than the transition, and they're always looking for a way to make it faster. That's one of the number one questions I get on all social media, 2019, going into 2020 is, well, can it be sped up? If I take these herbs, can it go faster? Can't we skip over that? I know someone that skipped over that. I know someone that, did this level of fast.
Wait a minute. When they say they know someone that skipped over that and did what?
And in the midst.
Have they told the story on this person yet? Like, is the story complete?
Well, when they say skipped over it, I'm telling you from their perspective, that's the problem. They're looking at people that have done these 2, 3, 4, 5 month long either juice feasts or eating mono fruit for 6 months, or they're looking at people that have done these things that are very vocal online, that promote what they're doing, or that lead other people and say, hey, why don't you do this long 40-day juice fast, whatever it is. They're seeing these folks that are being very public about these activities, and they're looking at that person like, well, that person didn't transition. That person doesn't promote transitioning. They don't have a long-term perspective, and it seems, pedagogically speaking, for years I've tried to figure out how to get across a long-term concept and consciousness. It's not impossible, but it feels impossible sometimes.
But you're doing the right thing. We're talking about the transition constantly and how to do it and being patient. And but see what happens when they do watch them folks who do these 3 and 4 month type of fast, and what you're saying about the long term. They don't watch the long term because the long term never plays out, because they end up going back to eating raw meat.
Well,
see, we've seen how that story is.
Right.
So that's where we are pushing the transitional diet, because I told somebody this yesterday. I said that the one thing about the Mucusless Diet Healing System is that it's a living based on eating your way to health.
Right.
It's not fasting your way to health. And people get caught up in, oh, Brother Air, you fasting for oh hell, you still fasting. That's my personal thing, man. I transitioned for 25 years.
Right.
Maybe 2 or 3 day fasts, things like that. But I transitioned, stayed consistent with the cleanse. Did the lessons, went back to the lessons, man. I mean, checking the magic mirror over and over and over and over, and and really being
in other words, you practice the Mucusless Diet Healing System. Yeah,
I'm still practicing the Mucusless Diet Healing System.
Yeah,
I mean, it's nothing. There's nothing too much different that I do now that I didn't do 35, 40 years ago almost. It's nothing in my daily ritual.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing pretty much that I don't. I mean, now I don't eat more. I mean, most of my lifestyle now is not eating.
Right.
Not eating solid foods. That's how I live. Probably 8, 9 to 10 months out of the year, I don't eat. So that's about the difference. But my daily rituals, the cleanse, my breath work that I do, things like that, and are still the same. It's still the same basic things, and I still. Now I have the audio, so now I listen to the audio all the time in the car.
Yeah.
Of the Mucusless Diet Healing System. Listen to the lessons over and over again, man, and rational fasting and all that. So being patient about the transition, we know about the transition. That's the one thing that that we know about is the transition. And those who can't get it in their soul to want to be patient. They want it all. They want, I want to be a fruitarian. I want to be a breatharian. I want,
Well, and the change, what I'm trying to get, and I got a video coming out there I talk about it, is I want to see people get excited about the transition. That's what I'm missing. It's more than just I'm patient.
I'm always excited.
Well, I know you. I'm saying I don't see that out there. I don't see excitement about the transition. I see the little excitement that I see is usually if somebody does a fast. That's what I'm talking about.
And there's no better day that you could have is from eating mucusless. That day.
Yeah.
That's a great day.
Right.
You're having a great day.
Yeah.
It's
right.
like, wow, like I ate mucusless today, man. I ate mucusless the next day. You on fire now.
Right.
You're on fire. So yeah, getting excited about the little steps.
Right.
Trying to do all these, this tightrope walk without a net stuff is not impressive. We've seen you come and go.
Right.
You call yourself whatever you want to call. I'm a raw foodist. I'm this, I'm a breatharian. Look, we done seen it. We done seen you come and go. From being a breatharian to back eating quarter pounders. We've seen the whole gamut of, we've seen folks, practicing the mucusless diet back to eating meat, and the problem was patience. It wasn't patient.
Yeah, patience.
And they panicked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess a good term might be maturity. That this is a mature. This is like we say. This is the grown-ups thing over here. This is get out the sandbox. Stop playing games, messing around with the concoctions and the little that kind of stuff. This is grown up.
The men from the boys and the women from the girls. We've been saying it for years.
And I think, and that's the thing that people don't. That maybe the problem is people identify challenge as sort of that athletic weight room mentality. Like it has to be hard. It has to hurt. It has to, or you're not pushing, so when people are doing these fasts, they can get into this like, where they out of it and they're like, but the worse I feel, the harder I'm pushing, like they just did some bench pressing or something, and that's the wrong mentality for the Mucusless Diet Healing System. This is not a try to, push like, not, it's just not that type of mentality. Like you said, the idea is, being excited about going a day being totally mucus free. It's like I said in the post the other day, it's harder to eat 100% mucus free than it is to fast for several days. Yeah. Because there was someone in the forum that it did a fast and then broke the fast, and soon after the fast they were already into some mucus forming foods.
Right.
And it's not a dig on them, because that's part of the learning process. The main thing is when you experience that or you go through something, you really have to look back at what and kind of do an audit of your fasting experience and read the experience and kind of understand, put things to see, put things together. But
that's a part of your practice. That becomes a part of your practice of really being intelligent, and that's what we talk about, the adult part of it.
Right.
Because that becomes a part of your practice, and you have to be intuitive enough to know what's going on in terms of, okay, make notes. There's nothing wrong with making notes. a daily little journal. Okay, I ate this, I felt like this, and I eliminated like this. And, and just be able to go back a year from now and look back and look at your notes and be like, wow, and just see, emotions, even talk about emotions.
Yeah.
Because that's a big part of, you're talking about solitude, you're talking about emotions that, we go through emotions, man, where we just want to, the least little bit can tick you off, your emotions, man. I've learned to keep it at an even keel now, I don't go too low, I don't get too high. You dig? I've learned how to really,
Yeah.
even Professor Spira seen my emotions change over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Just, just the way I was versus the way I am, and so that's a kind of a thing that's been tempered by, for me, less food consumption, more time to contemplate feelings, like my feelings, and analyze my emotions, and just go with the fact that I'm giving thanks every second of the day for just that. No more looking into the future.
Yeah.
No more of that.
Yeah. The
It's
now.
now.
Yeah.
It's just now. Right now, I'm just thankful and feeling good about right now and who I am and what I represent and what can I do to serve others, help others, feel good and get to where they want to get to and represent what they want to represent. What can I do to help? That's what I concentrate on. A lot of folks, man, just haven't focused, haven't put their priorities is still, I gotta make a lot of money, I gotta take care. It's
Right.
like this. It's like this. We don't start giving a rat's ass about humanity until our humanity is comfortable for us.
Right.
See, and that's not the way. That's not the way this works.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like we gotta take care of our humanity and our comfort zone and not have no feelings for nobody else until we get it
it's
together.
like, right. Once we get our comfort together, then
we
we'll
can
go
spread it out.
Right.
We can,
go
it's
to
kind of like it's kind of like feeling it's kind of like getting started on a new ritual or a new living or something, but the person has a hard time getting started because they're always waiting on the most comfortable time to do it.
Right.
Like, okay, I'm gonna wait until the holidays get out of the way, and then I won't have to, I won't have to deal with all this food.
Right.
Okay, or I'm gonna finish. Just started a job, so I'm gonna go through this 3 months, and then I'm gonna, this trial period. Then I'll get started. You see what I'm saying? So always waiting until things are comfortable.
Right.
And that's not the way to do life. Life is always serious as a heart attack, second by second.
Right.
And it's not really it's not really affected by your future emotions.
Right.
You know, you got to know how to, like, right now, like, you know, like right now, what can I do? How can I help? How can I feel? And that's where we're not getting that. We're not getting that. We're just totally self-absorbed into this. It's kind of like walking through the house and looking at mirrors.
Right.
You know, I gotta look at myself, see how I'm looking,
Right.
how my pants and my shoes look together. you, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, is this, you know what I mean? It's like this mirror thing, you know? So, you know, our confidence of ourselves is very, very low, you know, what we think of ourselves. So we always got to look at ourselves, you know, this narcissistic reality that we've rationalized once again. You know, we just so pretty.
Yeah.
We just, oh man, we love ourselves. Oh, look at us. Oh, it's just everything. So, you know.
So while I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna take a moment to let everybody know, first and foremost, the Arnold Ehret Day celebration, second annual Arnold Ehret Day celebration video library is now available. And for everybody that went there, I'm gonna try to, within the next couple days, I'm gonna get the email. You guys get access. All the folks that bought tickets, you get access to this library. I'm gonna send that your way. For everybody else, it's Ehret Day sale, 30% off, and this is just gonna be kind of through this little few days here. But let's see. We got
This world that we live in.
I'll play a few seconds of the trailer.
Fueled reality.
If you can keep pushing this medicine on people, the prescription companies, pharmaceuticals will hook you up, send you all over the world, buy you a house on the beach, if you can keep selling so much of this. And they have doctors who buy into this. They're murderers. We need to be calling them what they are. They're murderers. I don't have a problem. I seen them take my mother. So after that, I don't owe them shit. Now, you're on my list because you took my mother with ignorant advice. So now, I'm after you.
Looking at it from Ehret's perspective, all of that muscle is not muscle. It's accumulation of poopy inside of you. So when we try to understand it from that angle, we realize that our society is, gosh, man, I mean, I have to always fall back on the sides because it's not anybody's fault indirectly. This is something that we're born into. So don't take offense to any of this because it's going to get deeper. Just realize that this is just a wake-up call, because wherever you're at on your path, with all this information you're receiving today, you're going to improve. You're going to take levels up. Whether you believe it or not, it's going to happen because this is information that's being downloaded subconsciously.
So Earthships, this is the name that Reynolds came up with to call the actual buildings he makes. Earthships being a metaphor, because like a ship out to sea, these Earthships are totally self-sufficient, and Earth is one of its key construction materials. But you have to kind of sail the Earthship a bit, interacting with it for it to perform, leaving out all the hippie language. they really are just this: state-of-the-art, sustainable, off-grid buildings.
Drawing blood from a baby is child abuse. Anything you want to know, you can ask anybody over in the eastern part of the world who deals with medicine how you read a person's ills. You read it through their eyes, you can look at their tongue, and you can look down in their ear, you can look up their nose and tell if a person is ill. This is how they do it way out there, way over there. But here, they have a tendency to want to stick, pick, pull, probe, go all the way up. They up in your butt now. They get all the way up in your body. So these tools, they're fine, and they have cameras, but don't you think they have other, floating things you can't see, and by the time it's up in your body and come out, you got something. What is it that you may have contracted? Any dis-ease that has a name is given to that ailment or symptom or that problem. All dis-ease is known as constipation. People might want to call it a little crab in the ocean, cancer. When you call it what you want, you're constipated. You're backed up. That's what happens to these babies while they're in our wombs. So when we bring these babies here, the first thing to do is to do what? To flush you and flush the baby.
No matter where you are on your transition, there's something over there for you. So if you're just doing a fruit thing right now, there's been fruit all day. You just want some raw salad or some raw greens or something, that's over there. If you do the transition mucus lean, you got that.
When I was in culinary school, I didn't really learn how to be healthy. I just learned how to make stuff pretty. And I did culinary school for a year and a half, and I really enjoyed baking and pastries because it was like the artistic stuff. And I didn't like giving it to people because it hurts them. So I dropped out of, I'm a culinary arts dropout. But one of the things I learned was you can notch your onion right here by the root, and you can hold it with your fingertips, and you can cut closer.
Long ago, many generations after the great fall of humanity from nature, and before water, death, and destruction flooded the land, there lived a people, a nearly ageless people, people who knew not of chronic illness, sickness, and disease, a people with no concept of time. This was the golden age, a time of great peace, harmony, sophistication, and technological innovation. Humans ate only ripe fruit and lived for hundreds of years, or in some even thousands of years at a time. When they died, they painlessly fell asleep and lost their breath. Flying machines powered by crystals could be seen overhead.
All right. So we're
Wow.
we're
Hey.
back. So that's
Wow.
the
It was like we were there again.
yeah,
Man.
yeah.
It was reminding me of all the stuff I missed, and I was there, and there was so much stuff
So much
going
stuff
on.
going
I missed
on.
a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff, man.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I was over here, and then this was going on over there, and then this, so
Yeah.
that was just a fun weekend, man, and I can't wait until next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Man. And so those of you that's here, you can, if you didn't go again, if you went, just be patient. I'm gonna send an email with the link to get access to the video library for those of you that are watching this. If you're interested in checking out all these great presentations, then definitely click
55 hours?
there. No, 6 hours.
Oh,
A little under
okay.
6. Yeah, not that. Yeah, no.
I must have missed the dot. I didn't have my
No.
glasses on.
And so I think after the 30% off, it's like 27 or something like that. But yeah, check that out and let us let us know what you think.
Yeah, man. Well, I know what I think. I know it was off the chain type of event, and it was just perfect, man. And hopefully next year it'll be bigger and better, and we just keep on making it better, man. And it was just so much fun, man. Everybody was just so cool, and everybody was just so into being there.
Yeah.
It was, and I've been hearing from people all through the months, man. Since then I've been hearing from people, texting me and calling me and saying, "Hey, still flying high on the weekend," like. So that's good, man. That now you found your way back from the tropics to put all this stuff together.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, man.
And so on. Everybody can get their can relive, the people who were there and kind of relive all the stuff, all the lectures, and man, the lectures were, what was it, 5 lectures?
Yeah, 5 lectures with and one food prep demonstration.
Yeah, food prep, and to see Michael Fathour, that table that he was prepared everything, that he built
it, yeah.
And you seen all that stuff. He put all that stuff together, the burner and everything. I mean, this dude is just incredible, man. The how prepared, and the reason why we choose a guy like this to head up that.
Right.
You dig? Because of some people say, well, they could have done this, they could have did this, but I don't think so. The way this cat came so prepared, man, and I mean the things that he brought to the event himself by just on his Jeep, the things he built to carry the things that he was gonna bring.
An entire refrigerator, like a full size refrigerator freezer.
Yeah, full size refrigerator, carried that table, built hitches for everything around his Jeep.
Yeah.
And he wasn't traveling in a big van or anything.
Right.
He was in a Jeep.
Right.
And he built that. I mean, this dude was just phenomenal, man. I mean, this is the guy that you want around, and he's been back here since then twice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because he was just here last weekend.
Yeah,
we had
he's been back here twice.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's like a real. He does what he says he's gonna do.
Right.
His word is bond.
Yeah.
And that's what I respect the most, is that he says he's gonna do something, he does it, and just to have him dealing with all the food prep and everything, was, I mean, we couldn't have picked nobody more capable.
Yeah.
That really went far beyond the call of duty. That I know a lot of other folks wasn't gonna come like that.
Right.
Not like that.
Right.
Not
Right.
like that, bro. That was like another kind. That was like MacGyver, vegan MacGyver.
Right.
Like, this dude was incredible, man. So, you know, he's the go-to cat, you know. So we thank him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Then all the lectures, man, all the lectures were so balanced. Everybody's subjects was different, and the information was all going in the same direction, but it was just a way of everybody's presenting themselves.
Yeah,
Now-
it was a lot of flavor, as I liked it. You know, just flavor, because everybody, all the speakers, you know, we all have our own voice and perspective, and coming from different, you know, coming at this thing from different angles, and you know, so I that's what I like about it. You know, that type of, because you know, because I've been to events and things like that where it's on a certain topic, and it's like everybody is basically regurgitating like the same book or something, like the same language, like they you can just tell that they are just basically saying the same thing, just different vocal cords is saying the same stuff. But you know, with our thing, we got people coming that are masters in some area, you know, that the other of us isn't, you know, where it's like they coming from that, you know, like check it out from this perspective, and we always you know, appreciate that type of thing.
Well, I know I got doctors and nurses stalking me now. Coming by throwing rocks
at the house. Yeah, like where is he? Yeah. You look outside to be something on your front porch or something. They'll throw some a burning bag of feces on your porch.
Yeah. So it's getting deep, but you know, I can handle them. You know, all I gotta do is just offer them some something that I can't produce, just like they do.
right. Here's some.
Just lie. I just lie to them, you know, like they do to everybody else. So yeah, but that's, you know, that's good that you got the whole package together. You're getting it out to all the folks who supported and came, and so they're gonna enjoy that. They're gonna enjoy that, especially reliving it. You know?
Yeah.
You're reliving it, listening to the lectures again, and you know, analyzing them and everything. So that's just cool, man.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. I was looking over here at the chat, seeing what.
Oh, okay. People talking.
Yeah,
People talking to us?
There's some conversations going on.
Oh, is it?
Amongst and you know, people hollering.
What you gotta say?
Let's see.
What? Your doctors, your nurses? Okay, you want a piece of me? What? You want a piece of me, man? Come on with it. You know. You want a piece of me? You know. You know, like what I said on my Ehret Day lecture. They didn't like what I said, so they're coming after me. So yeah, it's people.
Yeah,
what are people talking about?
Here, let's see. I'm trying to bring up. I have the chat setting. Let me see if I can.
What's up, Khalif? I know you said Khalif had said something. I know he's always watching.
Let's see. We got Great Lake Strader. Bless up, Brother Air and Professor Spira. Got a little picture of the salad, little Brother Air salad there with some hearts and some suns and stuff. And Marcus saying, someone got to say it. Yeah, we'll say it. And this world is, we can just do a lot better than we do. I mean, that's the thing, is things can be a lot better and than it is. And see, Reese says, we do not need any holidays. Every day is a celebration. Every day is a sun day, an air day, and life day. Yeah, I feel that. And
people, it's fear. It's fear. People are afraid, man, to not be themselves and to follow what makes sense to them. They're afraid.
Yeah.
They're afraid of that. They have to move to the group. I don't want to be left out of the group.
Yeah. I mean, I did one of the videos I recently posted where I kind of do a little meditation on solitude, and I'm just such an advocate for that, and just mastering the solitude thing, which a lot of people, I think sometimes, I don't know. I don't know if people really understand it or get it when I talk about it, because I don't get a lot of feedback of people, like saying, there'll be a couple people. I will say, one of the videos, somebody said like they were happy I said that, because they're like, they got it, they got it.
And solitude can be achieved even when you're in a crowd.
Yeah.
There's a certain solitude. I was in a club, what was it, last night? And I just felt like there was such a state of solitude.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, because I can feel, I tend to, it's like, okay, the difference between loneliness and solitude. Now, when I feel lonely, I rarely feel lonely when I'm by myself. That just don't happen. If I ever feel lonely, it's usually around other people. It's in the midst of an environment or other people. If I feel, and that's still rare, but because I still have other places to go in my head.
Talk about that kind of loneliness around people that you find yourself around that you have nothing in common with.
Yeah.
That's a loneliness.
Yeah, I mean, that's real. The real the real loneliness, where it's like, because you would otherwise want to connect. Perhaps you will want to connect with other human beings in your vicinity, but they're so disconnected from where you're at that it would take more energy for you to try to connect, to try to interact. It's like taxing. Just like.
But what happens is you stick your toe in the water and thinking that it's gonna be different every time.
Yeah.
And it's never different.
Yeah.
It's never different.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or you stop sticking your toe in the water.
But that's maturity. You talked about maturity.
Yeah. That's kind of.
That's the maturity of it. That you have to become an adult. Do you want to grow up?
Right.
Ask yourself, do you want to grow up, or do you want to express adolescent passions the rest of your life?
Right.
And that's a lot of people have a hard time with growing up, man. And even with family members, I'm not sacrificing myself to sweeten my family members in their ignorance.
Right.
So, solitude or whatever you call it, being lonely, I will be. As I'm growing up, I'm trying to grow up. What they say, when you were young, you did what young people do, and you thought how young people thought. Now, if you're growing up, You supposed to have adult-like agendas.
Yeah, and
That's the problem, is we don't have adult-like agendas.
Well, I mean, there's like a concept. It seemed like it used to be more people. I don't know. I don't know how many years ago, but there was there's different phases of concepts, say, within the self improvement community. I'll just make that up. But it seemed like, I'd say maybe 15 years ago, there was a little bit more kind of coming from the Eastern tradition and some Eastern Buddhist traditions. There was a little bit more of the renunciant. Like that was something that was cool and people were talking about, people were aspiring to. Of course, they would water it down, but it was something that was recognizable, that people respected, where if you're talking about, okay, I'm a fast from people for the next 2 weeks. I'm not going to talk to any human beings for 2 weeks. Like that was something 15 years ago I think people would have understood more so than, I say something like that today and it don't even register. People don't even, it don't register. It registers so little that people don't even look at you weird. They just don't even hear it.
Media?
I mean, I don't, might be internet. That might be the cause of that. I think it's, I mean, I don't know. I think it's probably more than that. There's that addiction, because I'm always interested to the addiction to people, the addictions that people get to groups of people or to other individuals, relationship stuff. I tend to not get too deep into talking about that because then people get real, I don't want to be responsible for breaking up relationships and all that kind of stuff. I don't want that.
Oh, why not?
I don't need that. That's other people's decisions.
Let's break them up. Let's break up. Let's break up pus and mucus.
Pus and mucus.
Let's be committed to breaking up
pus and mucus. Yeah.
Because that's what that is.
Yeah, that.
Breaking up pus and mucus.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get people who are ready to get it together and their spouse is not.
Yeah.
How can you stay in that kind of relationship? And a lot of people do.
Yeah.
How could you have somebody who's eating steak and chicken and you're trying to cleanse and stay on a pretty clean, mucusless path, and then you're gonna lay down with this steak and this pus eater? Like, what I mean? It's almost like you're going backwards. It's almost like all that work you put in, now you lay down with this person and you've been infected again. It's almost like the work for naught.
Yeah. I mean, that's
so once again, we're talking about patience, even when we're talking about the mate, choosing a mate. Patience.
Yeah. Yep, patience.
And, gotta have patience.
And I guess for me, the clarity that comes with solitude is key for me, because I can't really function properly if I don't have enough solitude and I kind of have that space. And I can imagine folks that are in certain family situations or certain group situations where you don't really get a chance to go in, get intimate with yourself, because it's like there's static, all these different voices and people saying, and that kind of stuff. But that's people that are addicted to that don't know anything else, but that is very uncomfortable when you get away from that. I think from what people tell me. you first get away from that, if you ain't used to that, then it can be uncomfortable for folks, you know. So I'm an advocate for go through that uncomfortable, you know, let that be a fast. Like I said, you know, do a fast. Don't talk for a week. I mean, I do that kind of stuff. Still, I don't talk about it, you know, but I do, you know, and go a week and have no human contact, not call people, not talk to people, not, you know, just if I know I'm gonna do that, I go get a bunch of stuff at the store, so I don't even have to go to the store, and I'm hanging, you know, go off in the woods or something.
It's another part of saving your breath.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big part of this too. Is you really get wise about saving your breath.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that's real.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah,
you just don't have time to be conversing with and talking it out with people that's just never gonna get it. And you trying to explain, it's futile. It's just futile.
Yeah,
So,
the one thing about the Mucusless path, it makes it very hard to do that. You know, one, there's different philosophical kind of viewpoints or social scientific viewpoints about the way that we interact with people. And there's some viewpoints that look at whenever we're talking to other people, there's still this element of performing a role and acting, and it's something that is just part of the social dynamic where you know, someone asks you, "Hi, how are you doing?" The average person, even if they're not doing great, they don't say, "Oh, I'm not doing really good." They say, "Oh, I'm fine." You know, that's
they don't tell the truth. Most time it's just they know exactly what to say.
That's the role. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You're acting, you're playing the role, and with the Mucusless diet, it gets harder and harder to play those roles. When there's no reason to. That futile to go out into these environments. You know, that's why some of these social environments that you used to be able to tolerate. Now you're there. You're like, man, I can't put that on now. I can't do that no more.
You stop living the thespian life.
Yeah, right.
You know? So you just stop that. Like, you know, I'm not gonna get that part. You know, and that's why, you know, Hollywood is Hollywood, because everybody can act.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Everybody can act. It's an act. You're an actor. I'm an actor. We all can act. And so when you get to that point where, you know, you stop living the thespian life, then when you start saying exactly what's on your mind, people start calling you very critical. I get called, especially by musicians, that I'm very critical.
Right.
And I think what it is that I just don't say the pat answers to all this stuff.
Right. Yeah, you're not doing the sugar coated. You know, like
I'm telling you how I feel about it, and I mean, and it's my opinion. It don't necessarily mean it's the truth.
Right.
But it's how I feel about certain things. Like I say, I'm not living the thespian life.
Right.
It's not my agenda to even, you know, be bought into that world, and it's just best to get it out off your chest. If you have a problem, don't let it fester. Don't let it eat you up. You know, that's why we use the videos that we make on mucusfreelife.com to talk about the things that's on our mind. These are the things that me and Professor talk about.
Yeah.
With each other.
Right.
It's not like we're putting on an act trying to, you know, trying to get views or something.
Right.
This is how we feel. Like I knew that Professor had a feeling about ThanksKilling, and we needed to do this today.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, you know, just let's share. Let's share.
Yeah.
You know, we so into sharing on Facebook and all those videos. Okay, let's share.
Right. Right.
Let's share. So that's what that's about.
Yeah. Speaking of, let's see. Okay. This is already, let's see.
Gearing up for Black Friday, but the major doorbuster day for bargains now falls on Thanksgiving
Black
today.
Friday
it's the first shopping season this year
frenzy.
between now and Christmas, so the pre-Black Friday sales were more aggressive
Now
than
is pre-Black Friday. There's a Monday.
More than $50 billion has been spent online.
Now, is that today or is that tomorrow? What is
Black Friday is tomorrow, but in some places it starts tonight. So it'll start like midnight tonight. There's certain places that open up.
Oh, okay.
And
we all know how easy it is to click and buy from our phones on the
let's
couch.
see.
But to get some of those
they had a picture of all the. I was looking for one of these. We were like people get trampled. I got a whole video of that. And each year there's a website I think that has like the count of how many people are getting killed on that day, you know, like how many people are trampled on the day, because there's always a body count. I mean, there's a body count on a day after a day of thankfulness and gratitude.
Well, the day of Thanksgiving, I hear that the murder homicide count goes up and starts for the rest of the trend. It starts a trend every year. It starts on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That the homicide rate goes up.
that makes sense, because that, you put a little alcohol, a little turkey, and some sales, alcohol, turkey, and sales, and it's like,
sales,
look, I mean, and this is
flat screens, flat screen.
When
we scream for flat screen.
For flat screen. Yeah,
we
when
kill for
people
flat
think,
screen.
this is so, we're just so. Now that was the white folks in the front of that line running running to them cops. You're like, oh man.
And we always get black folks always get the get bad press, but boy, white folks are like, boy, they always they trample over you like you're not even there.
Right.
And they don't care what color you are. They will leave a Converse print in your face.
Man, they having a gang war. I mean, this is Black Friday. That's like the Purge. There's a movie called The Purge. It's all about the society that developed one day out of the whole year where you could do anything, and get it out of your system. And so you're allowed to murder people, you can rape people, you can do anything on that one day. And then that's what the day is.
That's what
today is.
That's what the day is. I mean, and they're not advocating murder, but
people are getting murdered. People are getting killed.
A little murder is all right.
Yeah. I mean, it's America. It was a place was founded on murder. So you got to have a little murder with your Yuletide.
Yeah, murder in the name of a flat screen. We can understand that standing in front of the judge and be like, so what was the deal? Well,
they had this 70% off flat screen TVs at Target, and
I had my hands on it first, and then he tried to come and grab it out my hand, and we got to battling, and I pulled out a knife and stabbed him to death, and oh, okay then. All right, you had a good excuse, and you had some witnesses that said that you put your hands on that you had that flat screen in your car, so you will be allowed to. You're free to go. So I mean, it's sickening, man. This is just, but only turkey and macaroni and cheese and dressing can stimulate this kind of behavior.
Yeah. The behavior. That's a piece I'm really gonna be on this year is the effect that food has on behavior.
Yes. Because we know that looking at these people, they're not fruit and
they're
green
not
leafy
eating fruits and green leafy vegetables.
plants. They're not eating fruits and green leafy plants. So, like I always say, we could change the culture around overnight, change our stomachs.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect example of stomachs.
Yep.
These are pure stomachs.
Pure stomachs. This is each one of these 32 feet of uneliminated feces. You got some old stuff, some old black tar stuff. You got, colon, just blackened.
What's crazier? What's crazier?
Colons.
A crackhead and a heroin addict, or this kind of behavior?
Yeah.
I ain't never seen a crackhead or a heroin addict act like that.
Right.
It's unless they're giving crack away.
Yeah. and over some. You talk about the material mythology. I think a lot of people miss that, the point of that, the depth of that, where it's, you talking about
material mythology is really has become a global sickness where we're like overly materially motivated.
Right.
We just have so much stuff.
Right.
Just stuff. We don't even need stuff.
Yeah, just stuff, and more stuff.
And
Keep
more
getting stuff.
Just more stuff. Stuff that don't even. I think you would tell me about your aunt. She just orders stuff.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Just order stuff. Don't even open it. Just order. Now, luckily, some of the stuff has benefited you because.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of people that do that. Buy. I mean, that's normal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's normal. You just buy stuff and it'll be sitting, in a box, or might look at it and
then you'll come around. It might be 3 months, 4 months that stuff been sitting there. Then you come around and look at the stuff, and you be like, "Hey, what is?"
Right, I can use this. Right.
So yeah, man, it's really a day. A day that today is really a day that we should be analyzing and trying to be calm.
Yeah. Well, and that's another one of the reasons why I'm an advocate for fasting of all the days of the year, fasting on ThanksKilling days, and this, because that's how you just go opposite, totally opposite. That's why I don't like to try to fit into it, or try to do a vegan version of it, because it's like, man, we need to be totally taking ourselves out of it all
changing
the way.
The energy.
Changing the energy.
Yeah.
Just this is a video of 5 deaths because of Black Friday deals.
Wow. It's heavy. That's sickening too. Now think about.
Like people, people are dying because people are trying to get a, deal.
Get a deal. And think about, how worthless is that to lose a life? That myself or yourself would lose our lives over whatever, a cell phone or whatever they're trying to buy.
Whatever you fight, like you literally.
Man, it's heavy. It's heavy, man. If we've gotten that sick, you know what they say, abnormal has defined
Is
what
defined.
normality is.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
And it's
and now tell me this, is this like this celebration, the ThanksKilling celebration, this is not all over the world, is it?
not like this, but I think the sales, see, the online stuff is starting to hit, so at least people aren't dying online. That's a good thing, as far as I know. People aren't getting stampeded, so there's different folks that are having sales that start, you know, online. You know, and it already started to be like for Wednesday, it'll come out and be like, this is our Black Friday, get it starting Wednesday or Thursday, you know. And so,
Yeah.
but yeah, but other than that, I don't know if they got it happening. I wouldn't be surprised, because see, a lot of these are chain stores, and I wouldn't be surprised if over even the past 10, 15 years they developed it in certain places, you know, certain places in Europe or something. But I don't know. That's a question for the folks on the in the chat. They can and those of y'all that's out there in if you're in Canada or Mexico or over someplace in Europe or anywhere where you at, Australia,
yeah, places like that. I would be interested to see
if that's happening. And, just such a.
So other than that, man, what's up? How you doing, man? I mean, I've told you I've been, you know, just trying to maintain this juice fast, and so I've been feeling pretty good, you know, and the band, that's something that we've developed since the Ehret day. We've kept that band together, and we've kept that band together. So that's something that's been a good thing for me, man, to really get motivated to have musicians that can play like the band can play. All the guys are like virtuosos, and to have that kind of thing going on, and we've been gigging, and so I'm real happy about that, man. So.
Yeah, been gigging, been you say getting, you know, fighting with club owners.
We've been getting the real feeling of it.
Yeah,
you know,
the real experience, you know.
Yeah, the real get in the what do you say? Throw your hat in the ring.
Yeah. It's like, you know,
we threw our hats in the ring of trying to promote this band and trying to
sacrificing some of the solitude and sanity.
Oh
for the mucus, trying to navigate through the mucus world just enough to get to get on the other side of it. And that's sad. And well, for me, folks,
and I was fasting through that, so
yeah.
You know, but you wasn't, and I think that's what got us over the hump.
Right.
We needed just
yeah.
We needed that eating, just a little bit of eating.
Yeah.
So it got us over the hump.
Yeah.
So
that's
something to be said about eating in the right times.
The right circumstances, where you learn how to do that, when you need that type of stimulation.
Right.
And where you go hit it. But I just got back from my little trip, and that's where I'm at is thinking about my next trip.
Yeah, really.
Like I'm already just like I'm wanting to have my next trip already, you know.
Yeah.
And because it's very, very, very nice location. You know, it's like it's hard. I look at my weather app, and it's like 32 degrees outside here. Then I flip over to where I was last week, and it's like 78 and clear and sunny, and I'm just like.
Yeah. It's like you wanna, you know, and soon we will. I mean, the reality is gonna. That's what our whole existence is about, is changing our reality.
Yeah.
We're not visiting these tropics and places just for a vacation.
Right.
These are
right.
really
This is
like fact-finding
missions. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, and sooner or later the move is gonna be made. You know,
yeah.
so
yeah.
So yeah, we got the, like I say, the oh, you were at the Veggie Fest.
Yeah.
Vegetable Fest. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So
I was unable to make it.
Yeah.
I was scheduled to be there, but I was unable. So you kind of held down the fort. You and Michael Fidauer and Cassidy.
yeah. It was cool. Yeah, it was more fun than I thought it might be. You know, just because I'm I haven't done a whole lot of vending, because kind of the vending thing isn't necessarily my forte. You know, I like doing presentations. You know, I'm good for coming in and doing just blowing the place up, do a great performance presentation, you know, and hang for a little bit and then leave. That's sort of my speed. When you do the vending, you gotta be there all day. You know, you come and set up early, and then you're sitting and hanging and talking and all that kind of stuff. But I enjoyed it, because we just had fun, because I created a 30-minute video of all kinds of different clips, and some of the clips had like the colonoscopy clip with all the slime in the colon and the mucoid plaque images, and so there was a bunch of that, some of the memes, and some of it was provocative. And the folks that were sitting across from us, they were trying not to look at the video, but they couldn't help it. They'd be kind of like trying to look away, then it would catch them, and we could just see them. Their face would just be like, you know, just start to transform. And then we was just over here kind of laughing, and I would take a look to see, or when people would walk by, they'd look down and be like, "What?" You know. And but I was happy with the way it looked. We used some of the Ehret celebration decorations and kind of hooked it up, and I had an old paper presentation, like kind of an old like poster board presentation that was made back when I was teaching it at Northern Kentucky, when we had went back to the old, you know, the when we had did that vending years ago. And you know, so I still had that. It looks kind of old and stuff, but but people read, you know, they liked it. It looks good where people walk by and read it. And we put the little decorations on it, so it made it look good. But that was my thing, was I wanted to make, and I felt good about how everything looked, because I was, you know, I'll get like, self-conscious is too hard of a word, but just aware that some vendors, man, their stuff is so nice. You know, it's like their presentation and the way they got stuff laid out, and their posters and all this kind of stuff is like professional. You know, they'll be like professional vendors, and they just got such a nice presentation. So I at least wanted to be in that realm. You know, I wanted to have a good showing. And so I had bought this poster, Mucus-free-life.com, with the logo, and you know, I had that like overnight shipped so that we would have it there. And but yeah, it was cool. Yeah, enjoyed hanging and just kind of dealing with the vending thing. Yeah,
I kind of like that vending piece. probably a little more than you do, because I like that whole step up, you know, when they step up. They step up. They step up to the booth. And,
yeah, where they're,
you know,
yeah, where you drew them in, and there's like,
oh man,
yeah.
you know, I love it. I love that part of it. So we're gonna try to do more of this in 2020. We're gonna try to do more of those.
Yeah,
You know,
I
pick
think
some spots. And do more
and,
of that.
yeah, here's an image I'm showing of kind of a little further back. Is Michael Fathauer and Cassidy. His face is kind of behind the laptop, but that's the laptop right now, and it's on. It's actually on one of the colonoscopy clips, you know. So that's like on video. So I thought that was kind of cool, because before I had a thing that had a bunch of that stuff on it, and I was like, if I put that on a video and just have the video going, then they actually gave us a second table. We were able to have a second table because the people next to us didn't show up. So we put we put some more stuff on that. We had the Ehret, which one of these days we'll come on here and we'll sell these other T-shirts. These are little Ehret T-shirts that we got left over. And I had my 4th edition 1924 Mucusless Diet and the 1926 Rational Fasting, and had all our books there. There's the Mucus-free-life.com poster, turned out real nice. So, and it was interesting because a lot of people had it was almost like a craft show, like vegan crafts and jewelry. It was a lot of jewelry, a lot of crafts. It was like some food on the outskirts. There was a number of different vegan food situations. There's one place that actually had salads that would make. Now I didn't eat anything, but Cassidy had went over. He was able to get just a nice little mucus-free salad at one of the restaurants that was there, set up portions. And there was, like I said, a few of other things, but it's like the other things, and that was something that we were talking about, was whenever you go to a vegan event and there's nothing for us to eat there.
Right.
Because you would think that it'd be nice to be able to go in and just like, okay, let me get some salad or get a fruit or get something, and it's always just tainted. Whatever you might have been able to have, they'll have a smoothie, but they'll have some cane sugar in it or something. Just stuff you don't need.
Where were we at this year where we got the cups of watermelon? Where were we at?
That's Comfest. They always have, they always have the watermelon stand. So that's that, and that's like what we can eat.
Yeah.
the actual stuff that we can eat over there.
Yeah.
And
that sign turned out really nice. That was exactly the way that sign looks, is exactly what I pictured in my head.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I pictured in my head.
Yeah.
And you went with the darker. Is that a darker black or blue writing down there? Mucus-free.
Well, it's black. It's black.
Okay.
Look, it's almost looks a little brownish. You kind of, if you look at it real close, but from the back, it's black.
Okay.
Yeah, black.
Because I definitely wanted the logo on the banner.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted it because that's such a pretty out. It jumps out at you.
Right.
So I definitely wanted that. But I didn't really know how. I was like, well, I had to have this. 'Cause when I was trying to explain to somebody down here,
mm-hmm.
and I had a card on me, and then my card happened to be a card that had got wet, and it smeared out the picture of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dang, I just got one card. And I was trying to, but that's what I wanted. And I was like, well, I pretty much knew that I would have to get you to send whoever it was
mm-hmm.
to a picture of it where they could.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to just go online and do it, you know, and kind of design it myself and work, you know, and kind of, you know, deal with the folks that do that. So I'm gonna be working on some more stuff, like just get in that mode. And we talked for years. We talked about that, and just get the merchandise piece happening.
Right,
and,
right.
And,
right.
So.
But yeah, that was good that, you know, y'all were able to get out and do that, and Cassidy, man, I completely forgot about that cat, man. That when he left the Ehret day, he went to Pennsylvania to start a new life.
Yeah, or West Virginia or something.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, he was leaving with Michael Fatower.
Right.
So Fatower is in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but I know he's in a
yeah.
different. Yeah, it's a different state, but it's over in that direction.
Okay.
And,
so yeah, it was interesting because Cassidy was from, like, was it Oklahoma or someplace, or Nebraska or something like that, you know, and so he was coming from there to the Ehret day.
Right.
And decided, like, well, you know, my job, I don't know if he got fired or did he quit his job. I know he didn't have his job no more, so he was like, well, I don't have nothing to lose, you know. So Michael Fatower, you know, asked him, hey, look, you can come on down my way, you know. And he put his luggage in the Jeep, and they left, and that was the last I heard from him until now. And so it seems like he's worked it out, you know.
Right.
So,
right.
That was interesting. See, you know, that they're still staying in touch, and it's good to have somebody practicing the Mucusless diet that they can both, you know, kind of hang out with each other, kind of plug in. So
yeah, let's see. All right, let's take another look at the. There's a couple questions on here. Let me get this set up again. So let's see. There was a. Let's see. Dozian. Yes, hello everyone. This might be a dumb question, but do you remain on the transition diet until your body becomes clean, so you can be on the mucusless diet forever?
Well, I mean, that's the optimal type of scenario that you would want, I would think, you know. You know, I mean, you know, when you say forever, but yeah, that's what the transition live it is about, is cleaning yourself up and transitioning yourself to mucuslessness.
Right.
To mucuslessness, you know,
so the way there's a video that I just recently made where, and I'll say what I said in that one, which is the transition diet is a tool, and the methodology involved in it is a tool. Each person has their, that's one reason I don't promote any one end goal for practicing the Mucusless Diet Healing System, because that's going to be individual for each person. Where, you know, the goal that Brother Air might have might not be the same goal that I have, you know, of why I'm practicing the diet. Or, you know, everybody that's something that people have to cultivate and develop based on their own consciousness. There's their own, that's where the solitude comes in, where you have to understand and develop that for yourself. Some people get into this lifestyle and they're here because they were really sick, and that brought them over here. Some people were attracted to it because of the discipline that it demands. So everybody is coming in at a different thing. The transition diet methodology, my transition can look a lot different from your transition, but the mechanics and the methodologies are the same. That's what's shared. And what you got to study to get all of those principles, to get all that information. That's why you got to get into the book, and it will speak to you specifically as to, okay, this is what I need to be doing. But looking at the transition diet as a tool, you don't ask, what's the end result of a shovel? The shovel is a tool. It depends on what the job is, what the end result. If you trying to dig a hole, once you dig the hole, that's the end of the result of that. You dug the hole. If you're using the shovel to put out a fire, then once the fire is out with some dirt in using the shovel, then that goal was met. So each person is, I put it on other people you got to say, what is your goal? Because I don't want to say, like with Brother Air, if his goal is to stop eating, well, that might not be my goal. And somebody else, we're going to have different goals, different end results, and that changes as you practice. Because as you elevate, as you transform your physiology and your mind, your goal for where you want to take your physiology and yourself changes. And,
but there's a basicness to everybody's transition. That real basic transition, the real basic things that we all do. When you get started with the transition, it's just best to be basic. Be real basic with what you're doing. We talk about being patient, and as you go on with the transition, then you start going down these different paths that are individually your paths.
Right.
Where Spira's path might take a turn here, and but I just advise people to just be very basic with the transition, as basic as you can be, and make it really comfortable for you, and look for some look for some results from week to week, from day to day, from month to month. Look for some results, like something is happening good. No matter, like I used to say, I remember stop putting sugar on my cornflakes was a big transition for me.
Right.
That was like a world apart, man. Like, whoa, like, man, I just felt so happy about myself.
Yeah. We gotta get away from transition as being sort of like you locked into this this thing that you want to try to get out of as soon as you can. It's not a good way to look at it. Transition diet, but within the context of the system. So the larger system includes the tool of transition dieting, the tool of fasting, the tool of colon irrigation. Ehret talks about herbs. If you get into any of that, the tool of herbs, whatever the ancillaries, they're all tools. And if there is a goal that is, you talk sort of the basic goal of everybody would be one word: elimination. So whatever
Right.
that ends up meaning for you, that's going to be the constant. That's the same for Brother Air, the same for me, same for everybody that practices the mucusless diet. It's a consistent and progressive elimination. And elimination of internal impurities, elimination of ancient impurities that's deep in your DNA or blood or whatever terminology you want to use, elimination of obstructive social things in your life, obstructive emotions, elimination. That's the one constant. That's the one constant for everybody. That if you want to talk about, okay, what's the goal of the mucusless diet? Elimination.
Yeah.
On all levels.
Yeah.
Elimination of obstruction in all facets of one's life.
Elimination is the goal.
Yeah.
That is the goal.
Yeah.
And the better the elimination becomes, the more the reality of those goals,
Yeah.
come to fruition.
Right.
I mean, it's
Because
all
if you
about
focus,
eliminating.
yeah. Because, and that's an example of what I'm talking about, where if you go on this road and you're looking at the world in terms of elimination, you could get to a point in your life where you're looking around at the house that you're in, like, I need to eliminate this. Like, this is in my way. I mean, that and that isn't something that you can, that's not a goal you can have right now when you start. That's something that emerges out of a consciousness that develops because of the work you're doing.
And it's not so much physiological what we're talking about in terms of elimination. Just like he said, that your house is a material part of what, but now everything becomes all encompassing in terms of your life now.
Right.
Everything is all involved in that, in terms of your practice of the true practitioner of the Mucusless Diet Healing System is somebody who it affects their overall life. Everything in their life it affects.
Right.
If you're really serious about practicing this, it's just not a physiological elimination, reconstructing the bloodstream, but social, emotional eliminations. It really becomes
and learning how, as you progress with your dietary transition, that you'll see those things start to change and challenge you to eliminate them.
Yeah.
And so
and things become, and that's why you hear us talk about the leaders of the community are always the ones who learn how to do with the least.
Yeah.
It's not the folks who you see who are riding around in the limousines, having somebody open the door for them, just all the, that's what we look at as very important people.
Right. Oh, yeah, it's an important person. The red carpet.
The red carpet.
There's a lot of people are taking their picture. They're important.
It's the cat that
the need. Does with the least. Needs the least.
Needs the least. Can where you have to ride 100 miles, he can walk 100 miles.
Yeah.
You dig, and things like that. So, are you ready? And that's what we're talking about. Being an adult. Growing up. Like, this is grown up stuff.
Right.
And I see so many of the people who get exposed to it who are not ready to grow up yet. They still want to dwell in the sandbox and play the game, with their peers and their family, and dwell on that real, like let's play some tetherball, it's that kind of existence,
Yeah.
But when you start really getting it together, now you're doing you're doing grown up stuff, and you don't need no assistance from anyone. You
Right.
start existing on your own, and the universe will for you to be a part of it. You are not a separate entity. You are a part of this thing. You know, aligning yourself with nature is the hardest thing that you could ever undertake. And that's why most people don't want to deal with the Mucusless Diet Healing System, because it brings out your honesty in yourself. You can't lie to yourself. You can lie and put on all these airs with everybody else and try to be so conscious and wear all this garb and have this look that throws people off. You know, that you're conscious. So, you know, but this is the real deal. You can't lie to yourself.
Yeah.
You know, as far as your elevations are definitely or something that you assign value to for you.
Right.
It's not something that you want to be patted on the back. Oh man, oh Brother Air, he's so great. Oh no, that's I have enough confidence about what I'm trying to do. I'm very honest with myself. I know when I fail, and I know where when I've had a victory. You dig?
Yeah.
So, like a victory was Ehret Day. That was a victory for us, for me. Anyway,
Yeah.
it just felt like everything that I had done up until that point was right here that weekend.
Yeah.
All the effort, all the time, all the, as they say, sweat equity, and just emotional and just life, man, was just right there on that weekend.
Right.
Like, okay, you know, that weekend kind of patted us on the back.
Yeah.
That was kind of like our little pat on the back, like, okay, y'all doing good. You know, y'all headed in the right direction. And then we forgot about that. The day that was over, we forgot about it and literally started planning for the next one.
Yep.
The day after.
Yeah.
The day after was sitting in a lottery waiting on the ball to drop to see if we could get the place that we had rented for the Ehret Day this 2019.
Yeah.
The day after, we were in a meeting waiting to see if we could win a lottery.
Yeah.
So, you know, when people literally say you start working on it,
the next,
as soon as the other one, the day after the other one is over, this was literally that.
Yep. That's it.
So, you know, it's serious, man. This is serious to us. This is what we do. This is what we love to do, man. We love to see people, man, with great stories about transition, because we relate.
Yeah.
We relate to it. I know how I felt, man, eating all that pus and all that, the mucus, man, all the donuts and cakes and lemon meringue pies I used to eat, and steaks, and oh man, you know, thinking out of my head, you know, couldn't think.
Right.
So constipated. But you know, the most beautiful thing that I can say now is how beautiful it feels to have a thought, unconstipated. Actually have a thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clarity. You know, to have clarity. And think in terms of others. Think in terms of serving others. Think in terms of making it better for others. You know, that whole, you know, wiping that whole materialistic type of mantra and feeling away from your life. Just, you know, sometimes I'm guilty of not thinking enough about my finances because I'm moving to, you know, I'm moving to another, what do you say, the beat of a different drummer.
Right. Right.
You know, so, you know, so it's, but, you know, you motivated like that, and you have to follow your heart. I do. So yeah, I need money. You know, I need money to do this or do that, but my heart says that I should be over here doing this or helping this or moving this the spirit of the universe in this direction.
Yeah. 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 Well, and that's, you know, the point that I try to make a lot is understanding our role. You know, once you, because everybody wants to try to fast themselves into some type of Jesus level thing or whatever. You bringing up that concept when I'm looking at us like
don't say Jesus to me.
Yeah.
We're gonna wait on that.
Yeah, we'll wait on that one.
Program.
That's another day. But
that'll be the Christmas. That'll be the Christmas.
Yeah, that'll be the Christmas episode.
Yeah, the Christmas episode.
My point is that we gotta look at things way more humbler. Like we gotta want to be humble and accept our role as we're the sanitation crew that comes after the party, after the party's over. This is not the party. We got a job to do. We're the sanitation crew. We got to come in here. We got to clean things up and try to put things right. This is not a time to celebrate and be, party, and be all, humanity's great and all this. Like, no, we got work to do.
Professor Traffic Cop. We're stopping you. We're stopping you before you get to the grave.
Yeah. It's like stop.
Stop.
This is So we gotta take it down a peg. Because I think a lot of people, when you do start getting into this, you start feeling real good, and you seeing other people doing this, and we lose track of understanding the long-term ramifications of what we're actually trying to do in terms of that gets back to talking about what's your individual goal, transformation of your bloodstream and to create a generational trend, because that's what interests me a lot in terms of the Mucusless diet, and the future is not me. Not me at all. I don't care. I'm not impressed with anything I'm gonna do physiologically. I'm impressed with 2 or 3 generations beyond me. Yeah. Those are gonna be that's the folks that you want to ask questions. People ask, like, "Are you eat nothing but fruit and all that?" Like 2 or 3 generations. That's the folks that we're gonna ask all them questions for. Folks that don't know what disease, don't have a clue what disease is, don't know anything about that experience, never had a cold, never had a fever, never, that generation, not us, not our kids. 2 or 3 generations of serious transition. We can have a total transformation of humanity. Who's got that type of patience, and who's got that type of foresight to understand that really, if you want to ask me what my goal is, That should be the vision. You know, that's the goal. Not who cares about us. It's about the future generations.
And dealing with some youth who prioritize the bloodstream.
Right.
Where you hear them talking about the blood like you hear them talking about Yukio or gaming or whatever they into, whatever trending is going on now. You hear young people talking about blood.
About bloodstream and the transition and that's where we had to start creating the mythological characters that the kids in our community can look up to and deal with, as opposed to the Superman and the Batman. We're gonna have the Mucus-free man, kind of, and there's a whole mythology that we create with the, walking on water and levitating and flying, it's coming from a whole different perspective than the alien from another planet type of perspective. It's like, nah, this is the folks that are normal on Earth, the normal humans.
The folks who understand the compatibility of us and being on the Earth.
Right.
We don't have to look for the aliens. We are the aliens.
Right.
The aliens come. When they say aliens come to a different planet, and who more than us have come to this planet and don't know what to do?
Right.
Who's the alien? You dig? So we need to really start producing and getting the young people into understanding and aligning themselves with their nature, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all they talk about. That's all they think about. That's all that it is. Is connecting with who you are. You talk about our nature, man, is every time you see something that we lost, like I truly believe, man, that humans could fly.
Yeah.
Undeveloped people. When you see mountain lions scaling the mountain, we can do all that. Because the one thing that I never get anybody to answer when I ask that question is, where do animals come from? Mm-hmm. And nobody has a definitive answer that has made me say, oh, okay, that might be. Nobody wants to deal with that. We deal with it because we know. Because we know that when you look a dog, when you look even what they want to say that's close to us, the chimpanzees and the gorillas and all that, they're too close to us in terms of a nervous system, a bloodstream. They are mamas and daddies. They urinate, they defecate. That's too close to us. Who's more similar? To say that they're not from, or we're, like, and I truly believe our stomachs ate ourselves to that. Mm. When you see a giraffe or a hippopotamus or whatever, and think about a sensitive body of a body who was existing on oxygen, because we know that bodies can exist because we go long periods of time now with no food or water. So we know if we could do a little bit of that, somebody was doing a life of that at one time.
Yeah.
So this just isn't something that we kind of reinvented the wheel. Like, this is all about rediscovery of who we are. This is all the Mucusless Diet was about. Was Arnold Ehret rediscovered all this information and put it in a book form. Like I truly believe this. The Mucusless Diet Healing System is more important than the Bible, than the Queen James Bible.
Oh yeah.
I truly believe that the Mucusless Diet Healing System is more important than the Queen James Version.
You mean the King James version? Queen. The Queen. Well, any version. Any version of it.
What I said was the Queen James Version.
Yeah.
Let's leave it there.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to get into religion. We're going to wait.
Yeah, we wait.
But,
we'll decide.
That's just a little tidbit of where we coming from come Christmas. We going all in on the religion. But the Queen James Version, I'm saying that the Mucusless Diet is a more important book than the Queen James Version.
Yeah. I mean, it's the more important book than any of them books. To me, that's all of them. Just go down the list of them.
Right. Right.
The annals of religion,
Right.
philosophy, any of that.
Because you're talking about something. When you talk about the Mucusless Diet Healing System, and the information in there is information in connecting you to who you were, to who you really were.
Right. And it's doing so in such a way where it really is ancient wisdom that is put in that type of a format where you have to do a little bit of work. You are. It's not just spoon fed to you. Because how
gotta grow up.
Well, as there's so many people over the years. How many percentage of thousands and thousands of people have read the book and rejected it on the basis of there's not enough scientific sounding language in the book, or this doesn't take into account the past 50 years of this. It's like, that's what I mean by you have to. It's dealing with that ancient information that it's not spoon fed.
How can you deny yourself in terms of your body is an air gas engine? That's what Arnold Ehret talks about. Your body is an air gas engine. How can that be denied? I mean, that's just the first principle of the building blocks.
Yeah.
Of what we're dealing with. And right there, that kind of information is so heavy, it blows away other complete books. Just that sentence.
Right.
Just one sentence blows away complete books.
Yeah.
That pose to have information about who you are.
Right.
One sentence blows away the whole libraries. Blows away libraries of information about who you are. Your body is an air gas engine. Can be proven. You can prove that to yourself. You can prove that to yourself in 4 minutes.
Right, yeah. 2 minutes. Yeah.
You dig? You can prove that to yourself, So I'm saying that you go with
My point is that what you just said is inaccessible to many people, and you can and I would even tie it into karma if you want. Some people they are destined to never get it, no matter how much you explain it, how much of information is available to them. They are damned.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah,
I mean, we can't worry about them. We can't worry about them.
And you're right, exactly. And that's why we continue with the work, and we continue with our personal work that we do on ourselves, and the work that we try to do in terms of serving others. We really don't give a rat's ass what you think.
Right.
We know what we're doing, and we know what we're doing is the right thing. We putting the right thing up against your right thing. You come with your right thing, and let's see who got the best right thing.
Right.
See, so all over the internet, it's just all this heavy philosophy, all this but man, the bottom line is dinner time.
Yeah.
What you having for dinner, bro?
Yeah, what you have for dinner? Yeah.
What you having for dinner, sis? See, we can tell the whole world of knowledge of what you know about what you putting in your body.
Yeah.
And we ain't talking about this little temporary, I'm vegan, I'm fruitarian, I'm just gonna eat real clean. We want to see you do it for 50 years. If you fruitarian, then be a fruitarian for 50 years. We've been around this thing. I'm telling you that I've seen fruitarians come and go because they don't have a transition.
Yeah.
They get motivated, and I'm glad, they got motivated to get off of meat. The sad part of it is that when you get that kind of motivation and you don't have a transitional type of plan, you end up going to start back eating raw meat.
Yeah, right.
How can you get to the point where raw meat, where you never even ate raw meat, but for some reason you're in so much pain that you think raw meat is the answer to feeling better?
Right.
Man, do you know how sick that is? And once you start eating the raw meat, you take on a whole nother level of chronic illness. It's like mentally, you done flipped it. You are retarded. You are mentally retarded now. You done completely lost your mind. We're gonna talk about some heavy issues all the time. Like I say, where do animals come from? Answer that. See? Like I say, if you had family members who were retarded, a little slow in your family, you know how we call people retarded, just a little slow.
Or we used to. That's no longer. It's no longer politically appropriate to use that term.
It's like a mental. What do they call it now? Mentally challenged.
Special. And
yeah.
I mean, there's technical terms for it, but that's like a slur. The R word is that's like a slur. We know what you mean.
Slur and slur some more. So I'm just saying, what I'm saying is that we know that just because they're slow, we're not going to eat them.
Right.
And that's what these animals are to us.
Yeah. They're just, you say the underdeveloped humans.
Underdeveloped humans. And so, and Can they come back? Can they get themselves back? Well, we don't give them
a chance.
Well, we don't give them the atmosphere to get themselves back.
Yeah.
Because we're the ones that have to alter, to have to help them alter. Because once again, they're slow. They can't figure this out.
Yeah.
So that's why that word we see in the Queen James Version, and you have dominion. You have dominion to get them back to human level.
Yeah.
That's the dominion you have.
Yeah.
You don't have the dominion to eat them.
Yeah, it doesn't say to eat them. Yeah, it says
to murder them. You dig? So, we got to really, man, start working on ourselves where we can deal with some clarity of thought of how we're going to heal this place, how we're going to heal us, how we're going to heal this place, how we're going to heal everything around us. Because once everything is healed, everything starts working right. Nature loves itself. Nature works inside of itself. Like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Right.
Nature doesn't want to make these crazy jumps, but you seeing what's happening because of our stomachs. Is we directly result in a screwed up nature. See,
Yeah.
But nature fixes it where you ain't gonna be around. Nature gonna be around. Your ass ain't gonna be around.
Right.
Because nature can only take so much disruption like that, and it'll start fixing itself.
Oh yeah.
That's the nature of it.
I mean, people are the level of denial. I mean, people are living in places that aren't going to be around in 20 years. I mean, the water's coming. There's some of these cities, man. You better go inland because
it's just a matter of time, man. As long as you want to be nasty, and be filthy and be fearful, long as you're afraid. You gotta be a part of the group. Oh, if it's your family, if it's your peers, if it's your work environment. Oh, I want to fit in. Oh, I gotta, No, nature constantly is telling you. It's telling you it's not working. It's not working. Your life is not working. Our culture is a deaf culture. It's not working. Don't nothing work. We've created this deaf culture, and we're happy with it. It's almost like we're celebrating it now. We have Super Bowls. We have award shows that celebrate nastiness and filthiness.
Yeah. Yep. We got parades.
Got parades that just, oh man, we want to throw up the banners. We want to blow up firecrackers on the 4th and just celebrate being nasty. We say, nasty as I want to be. What we say, yeah, that's a true statement. What did Luke say? Nasty as I want to be?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are. We nasty as we want to be.
Yeah, and this was such a shame today at the Macy's Day Parade. The poor Ronald McDonald balloon is ripped in half as it's moving.
Man, that wasn't an impossible balloon, huh?
Yeah,
look at that. That's really exciting to see.
yeah, it's being.
Oh man, wow, look at that. Just wow. I will remember that forever and ever. Boom. Look at what is he on the toilet? He looks constipated.
He's like he's
like
he's
trying to,
constipated and throw up and
oh man, he knows. The float is down. Medics, don't call the doctors. See, if we should have been right behind that float with an enema float.
Yeah. That's what.
Like
Yeah,
sticking
exactly.
it right in his ass.
Yeah.
Like so. Yeah. There we go. Look at this.
Green eggs and ham. That's the Sam green eggs and ham.
Wow.
I mean, we're in a culture that has nursery rhymes about green eggs and ham, and in the end, the moral of the story is once you tried the green eggs and ham, they were better than you thought, and you ate it up. That's the green eggs and ham. Yeah.
All right.
That's the level of wisdom. That's what the children, the stories. I mean, I came up on that. All the Dr. Seuss with his, finding out about his racist writings later in life. But you don't learn about that when you're 5 years old.
This dude was twisted with issues.
Yeah.
Dr. Seuss. Yeah. So. What can we say? Look at oh man, they having a ball.
Yeah, they're
having a ball. I just love to be nasty. Love to be filthy. I just could wallow in it. Just like a pig in slop. This is their pig in slop.
Right.
This is them wallowing in their slop. Look at it. Macy's.
Oh, this is the whole thing here.
Yeah, and that's a couple of hours.
The 2 hours.
Something like that. So people have on there. Look at it. They dressed warm, and oh man, this is great.
Yeah, I mean there's places it's where right now or at that time it was 80 degrees and clear. Somewhere with sun all day, but we gonna be up here with it doing this.
Yeah. So it's like I say that for those who don't want to inform those who don't know about how nasty this thing has gotten, it's almost like you're doing a disservice to your community, because with your community you're supposed to be someone who kind of wants to bring good news to your community,
right?
But we really has become folks that have shut up when it comes to information that we need to be sharing with our community. And this is the kind of information we share with our community. Hey, there's a parade.
Right.
Let's go. If you go into the parade, that's what you talk to your neighbors about. You go into you don't tell them like, look, this stuff is more demonstrative and sickening than you could ever think of a horror story. They're not going to translate it like that. So yeah, man, it's bad, man. I mean, it is bad to see folks walking around just deaf, dumb, and blind.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do these mental experiments. Well, I look at a big crowd like that, and then I imagine like just two months of enemas and transitioning of everybody there. Like what that would do. I mean, just 2 months of everybody that's there, just transit. Like you said, there's gonna be a lot of people there. They wouldn't be at that parade.
No.
I mean, 2 months would take them out the parade. They'd be like, man, I'm doing my enemas now. I'm sitting here.
We would have to have the septic tank people on close alert.
High alert, yeah.
High alert for that one. Like, okay, now, You know, we need y'all working 24 hours a day to keep this stuff eliminated. Look at this. Like, that don't even look good. I mean, just to have a
right. It's all it's
just
down.
laying down on people. It's,
Right,
you know,
like people just because it
I
was.
thought the thing's supposed to be.
It is. It was windy. They had a wind. That's what they had problems with. They wasn't even supposed to really do it. But they were like, all right, we're gonna do it, but it's really windy.
Oh, okay.
So
I was wondering because I thought I had seen it before.
Yeah, like they supposed to be way up. Yeah. No, they had like wind alerts.
Yeah, okay.
And,
I wonder why is it so close to the ground today? I'm like, what the hell? It look like they just rolling it along, and that looks so stupid. I mean, you're talking about not being effective. I mean,
I know.
Raising them up in the air did give it the illusion that they were up in the air.
Right. Now look at here's all these bunch of eating. I mean, you don't have to wait that long. This is what we talking about. All these people dressed up as cupcakes and cookies and clowns. They're clown cookies.
Pies.
It's like clowns that have food dressed as food.
Dressed as mucus.
As mucus, not food. Yeah, it's dressed as not food.
Yeah, not food.
And then
what's that?
I don't know. It's probably some. They sort of have these like minor celebrities that not everybody knows, but this is like their moment to shine. I mean, she might be somebody. I have no clue who that is.
I don't know who this is, but look like she's trying to dance a little bit like she's somebody. So she's just as nasty and stupid as the rest of them.
Let's see her way. Shimmer and Shine. I have no clue what that is. It's probably some little kid thing, you know, or
okay.
Little
All right. Wow. This is an exciting parade.
It's just
look at this, man. It's just crawling along like you know. I'm eating earlier and I can't walk.
I don't know what character this is, but yeah, right. It's like
I look like he's throwing up. I'm falling and I
can't get up. La 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 la.
Yeah. Look at me. I've been stupid.
Let's see. Wait a minute. Only you can prevent forest fires.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, here we go. A little.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore.
I mean, it just looks so stupid. Them just the way that they're carrying these things through the street now. I mean, you can't even see them. Look at it. It's damn, they're gonna like fall over. You know, it's like okay. And then since you couldn't show the floats like you wanted to, why not just cancel?
Well, there's a lot of money that wouldn't be made if they canceled. A lot of people came in town, so you don't want to disappoint.
Look at they just dragging the floats on the ground.
Well, that's not even. That's just that's one of them.
Well, I'm talking about
the other one. Yeah,
there behind them.
Yeah, right.
Just dragging them on the ground. It's like it don't even look. You know. Then who is this dude supposed to be? Like somebody political or some.
I have no clue who that is.
He look just as stupid as the like which ones are smarter, the rock statues or him? You know, yeah. I'd take the rock statues over here. Look just how goofy it looks. You know, just we're gonna ride down the street. You know, yeah, there he is, Smokey the Bear.
Is this the best that we can do?
That's the best that we can do.
Is this the best? This is the best we can do.
This is the best. This is the best mucus and pus can do.
Yeah.
You know, this is we have to make it kid friendly.
Yeah.
You know, so look at it. Look at that. I don't even. I mean, I remember when I was 10 and 9, and that wouldn't have done nothing for me. To look at that stuff, like it's just a big ass float. There's nothing to it. You know, all the little. Look at all the little peons.
Right.
Look at them. They got little red hats. Look like little peons holding the float. You know.
Oh, this is real sad. This is a grown ass man that's on a.
This is the budget float.
Right.
They didn't have no money, but
yeah,
we
that's the food. Yeah,
we
the
want to be in the parade.
That's the food stamp float there.
Yeah.
It's like there. It's like,
Yeah, like government cheese to the left, you know. Like here. Yeah. Here we go.
What is that? Is that a bottle of medicine? What the hell?
Oh, that looked like somebody. Was that
What's her name? That
Alicia?
or something like that. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, that ain't. Wait,
I
I don't know who she is. No, because that's a big old fat woman, man. Look how big she is. I mean, that's a big old coat. It looks like a big fat woman in there. So they go to bugs.
There's the trolls. Oh, here.
Hold on 1 second.
So yeah, so this is you folks get a chance to really see how we really do we talk about this stuff and just look at the absurdity of it, you know. And if you participate in it, it's a way to look at the absurdity in the world, the contradictions that in the same. It's like the way this stuff is packaged and the way that we're conditioned to just go along with it. And that's what really irritates us. And we try to fight against that and to get people to like wake up. That use that term woke. We got to wake up because this isn't good. On one hand, you got this today, and then tomorrow you got folks plowing over each other trying to buy some stuff for Black Friday. I mean, it's just an entire.
That'll start tonight, won't it?
That start, yeah, in a few hours. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
you know,
they probably all lining up right now.
lining up now.
Line.
Yeah, at some of these spots, and you know, and so I think it's important to psychologically as you go down this path and you start letting go of different things. As we talk about elimination, if there's a purpose. Because some people look at us making fun of this stuff and say, well, what's the purpose? The purpose is so you can look behind the curtain so that when it's time to let all this go, it's not hard. Right. So when you so that when you wake up, you're not missing anything. Because I understand some of y'all might be into this and you're still there. And if you are, you know, we was various
the kids like sometimes you got to do what's right for the kids. Stop lying to the kids. You're lying to the kids at such an early age about Christmas and Thanksgiving and Halloween. You just keep lying to the kids. The kids can have a just as good life, a better life without those lies.
Right.
They will be fulfilled and have great moral value without those lies, without the Halloweens, without the Thanksgiving, without the Christmas. They will do just fine. They will do better.
Yeah.
But for some reason, man, that's all you hear. Once again, master rationalizers.
Right.
Oh, well, the kids. Well, no, the kid, no. I have a son, and he is better off now than having to, know about all that Christmas and Thanksgiving. And he never missed it. He never even questioned us about it or anything.
Yeah.
And family members were so adamant about giving our children a Christmas. They were leaving stuff on the front door and coming over to the house just trying to gorilla us with
Right.
Christmas presents.
Right.
And you know me, I was like, they would leave that stuff, I'd take it right back over to their doorstep and leave it right on their doorstep.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's,
You know?
the non-participation. That's why I would say for a lot of people, that social dynamic is the hardest piece. And it's for all, and that's why we doing this. We talking about this. This is part of that. This is part of understanding, again, what you are electing to not be a part of. When
and
we say,
the more that you let this kind of behavior continues, it gets worse.
yeah,
It gets worse for us to live inside of, especially trying to clean ourselves up.
right,
It gets harder and harder and harder, and so join in on making it easy for your transition.
yeah,
Because when you have more people who can understand your transition around you, it's better.
right,
Because we want to be a part of groups. So why not be a part of the group who's transitioning?
yeah, yeah,
See, we want to be so much a part of the group. Let's change the groups.
right. I don't know that float, the dangling of the carrot nose.
Yeah, there it
Float,
is.
that's very attractive. I think I want to go be a part of that next year. I'm signing up.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
You
let's go to New York for a vacation. Let's spend all this money to be a part of that. This will be our vacation.
Right.
We'll spend thousands of dollars on hotels and travel, and we to sit right there
Right.
and look at this foolishness.
Right.
It's foolishness. We gotta grow up. We gotta do adult things. We gotta be adult. We gotta be mature. We got to stop expressing those adolescent passions, because we're not adolescent anymore. You are adolescent shorter than you are adult, supposedly.
Yeah.
Your adulthood goes for years, hopefully.
Right.
But that's even changing because people are dying of heart attacks at 38,
Right.
strokes at 34, diabetes at 28. You see, so we got to get out of this fear. They say fear. They say fear. Nothing to fear but fear itself, I guess. But
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's important doing this analysis. Now I got up last year's this is the Earth Cam at the New Year's Eve on Times Square.
Man. Well,
So, because a lot of it, that's, you got to go to that too.
Now this is mucus and pus to the 10th
to
power,
the 10th power.
right here.
Yeah. So look at, now what's interesting about this cam is they got just all these little, it's just constant. If humans are like little blood corpuscles on the earth,
There it is.
this is a big cancerous blockage here. And let's see. But what's interesting, once it's over
Say little white corpuscles.
down there, right?
Yeah.
And then once it's all over, here's all the pus residue left
Yeah.
on left behind there. They gotta clean it up. And I was and that was an experience. I was in New York last year, and I was there during the Halloween thing. And it's just to me, it felt like kind of like a college type of where you're not driving. If you live there, you ain't doing a lot of driving. But it was so occupied. Just the way the cops are just sort of. I mean, it was like being at a high school or like a junior high dance, and there's all these. You have all the teachers and the chaperones. It's just there's nothing. There's just so much chaperones. It's just so many. It's just like I don't want to be in this environment with all these chaperones. I don't want to be chaperoned.
Well, what impressed me about New York, and I actually got a friend who pretty much lives up there now, almost full time. But it's just too many. This is what I always thought about New York now, because I spent a lot of time up there. It's too many poor people in such a small space.
Mm.
That's the way I always thought about New York. It's just so many people who don't got nothing in such a small space.
Right.
So that's what turned me off about it. And it's just too occupied. It's just so many people, like especially when you get down in the Times Square area. This is just the New Year's Eve day, but just in general, it's just a zillion people walking around all the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and we talked about that. That the clarity of thought and solitude,
Yeah.
and peace.
Yes.
Because that's for me. That's like a big life goal of mine. I'm interested in peace. I want to be just peace. A lot of people don't care about that. They could care less if they have peace in their life.
For us, study of music is about peace.
Right.
When we study in music and we're working on our sound and trying to practice and trying to, peace and clarity where we can experiment and hear, where you can hear a pure note. You want to hear the note pure.
Yeah.
You need peace. So but New York is a whole other kind of vibe, man. I mean, just the people I know from New York who live there now, man, they just have another kind of vibe, man. It's like, that's why I'm surprised, and it's very interesting to see people who practice the mucusless diet who are from New York.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of folks. Shout out to the folks in New York, because I know there's a lot of y'all. Because I see a lot of folks get the book in New York.
Yeah, man, because they're looking for a way out of it, man. Clarity, if nothing else, even if they're not going to move out of the state. And they love, and there's a lot to like in New York in terms of the availability of the arts.
The arts, yeah.
You dig? But boy, it's just getting to the art,
right.
It's like all you got to do to get to the bandstand, in our case.
Right.
It's like, whoa. We're like, the payoff is the bandstand. That's what it always was for me.
Right.
Until I just
the bandstand, yeah, great crowds. I mean, I got to get a chance to check that out. Just the great crowds, they just come out and support the arts, understand what art is happening, they respect it and dig it.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing for artists
Yeah, yeah. Everybody want to have people checking them out. I mean, you would rather have a place that holds 200 people. You'd rather have at least 150 to 200 people in there checking you out than 3 or 4.
Right.
All of us would love that, you know. But man, like I say, to get to the bandstand in the 24-hour day is more than a notion, man.
Yeah.
And it's not really set up for the fruit and green leafy eater.
Right.
You know,
Right.
the faster, you know, the one who is fasting, the one who is juicing, the one who is meditating. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah. I mean, because that would be like our reality. Like that's our that would be our news show.
Yeah.
We, wouldn't be revolving around, so and so was killed and raped today and this
Right.
happened and the weather did. It'd be like yeah, so and so's 4 months into their fast. Go get them,
Right.
Tiger. It'd be like positive, kind of.
Right.
There's some good news,
Right.
And,
right. Just how you got through this day, like, I mean, because New York, man, is like they're new and old school all in the same place. Because like here in Cincinnati, you don't have to worry about something. You can pretty much go places and you don't have to worry about pickpocketers and things like that.
Right.
In New York, you do.
Yeah, you gotta be.
I mean, you got every kind of body up there: the pickpocketers, the con men, the pimps, the confidence people. I mean, just every kind of scam that can come at you will come at you.
Right.
And so it's just like you got to be just so on alert, and you don't want to see. This was the key for me: is you don't want to trust people, and I can't live like that.
Right.
I have to be able to feel good and comfortable for my own safety around people.
Mm.
So yeah, that's heavy, man, and that's good, man, that we went down this road with the Thanksgiving. We can't even say floats. We say the Thanksgiving drag.
The Thanksgiving. Yeah, they weren't. Yeah, they weren't floats. Yeah, the ground balloons.
Yeah, the drag. They were dragging. We needed to see that. People think, I'm in Cincinnati, New Yorkers always have. We missed it. We wasn't there. No, that's just what you missed.
Right.
Thanksgiving drag. So yeah, man. But wow. So where we at, man? We done did a normal 2 or 3 hours.
I think we probably ought to start wrapping it up. I think we at our little 3 hour mark.
Okay.
Yeah, we just crossed the 3 hour mark. It looks like there's a message from Takora through Ayana was saying, listen from the terrace and let's hear about the fire music healing. I don't know if she wanted to hear some of the Fire Music Project clips, or just I mean, we was talking about that a little earlier. We talked about the Fire Music Project, but that's the music. And well, you can get access to all of that in the second annual Arnold Ehret Day celebration video library. The whole concert is in there, is available, and so you definitely want to check that out. And
yeah. No, that ain't what I want. Come on.
Here's a good comment from Queen Ja. Said you mentioned the people having nothing. And the holidays are a form of escapism for many, especially who have much of nothing to lose or to spare, holidays are set to benefit off the celebrators' delusions. Exactly.
Yeah, man. I mean, it is. It's all of it is. Hey, Sister Decor, she's on the phone. Professor Spira. Yeah, what's going on? You watching all this calamity? Yeah. Can you tell? Hey, can you tell?
It doesn't sound too good, but
I can't hardly hear you. You coming in real staticky.
I don't think it's gonna work, Brother Air.
You say play some music. I can't hardly hear you. I don't know if your speaker or some. Yeah, now you sound. Yeah.
My little soul is playing music over here.
Oh, okay.
And I pulled a pop sound and started jamming. As soon as you called, it was like.
Oh, all right. Well, we wanted to holler at you and just see what how you feeling, and you got any wishes for the community for this holiday?
Well, yeah, I'm celebrating, giving thanks, being able to get through to my children, doing their little regiment, even though they doing their little eating thing like they usually do. This ain't no different day from them than any other at the rest.
Well, yeah.
You know, the corporates, they take their little holiday and all of that business. But we've been plugging into the knowledge and information about our people, you know, the indigenous families, and, you know, in the day of celebrating their mourning, too, because there's a lot of defeat. They want to just, Europeans whipping up on the indigenous nations, some sisters and brothers whipping their asses, too, you know, so to even the score right now is to get your blood clean.
Yeah.
So ain't nobody got to be in no little hatred vibration and no sickness, illness, and disease vibration. They can be in a total healing vibration and become immortal if they want to. You know, that's a choice.
Talk about immortality. Hey, Sister T. Core, talk about immortality, because people, that sounds so.
I don't know. We might need to do that when we have a direct connection, because we can't really hear it too good. That might be a one for later, for a little interview.
Oh, you can't. Okay.
I was speaking with my cousin earlier today about immortality. You know.
You can't hear him, Mike.
I mean, it's not great. It's not a great connection.
Even though his blood is acidic, he can still heal. None of this is, you know, a scientific experiment when it comes to healing. It's all a gift from the creation, how we correct ourselves right now. You know, you can do it simply with first your commitment, you know, to living, and then once you commit to that, you're gonna start meeting the people that's plugged into it. You're not gonna meet the mucus-free people until you start, you know, doing the work. You decide what you're gonna do, and then the universe is gonna open up to you.
Right.
Stay toxic, stay around toxic people, then that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna gravitate towards toxic people. There's gonna be a sickness, illness, and disease that's gonna overcome and take over and spiral down. Now, you want to get lighter, get right, make the decision that you want to do now. It's the time for it. It's the season to do less. You know how the bears hibernate? They rest around this season because they know what's going to happen towards the spring. You know, rest, the body ready for this next season that's coming, because we headed for some real interesting days. So start getting yourself right now. This is not the season for us to think that hospitals can get us better and illnesses that you're suffering from. Abstain from flesh and blood, processed stuff, dairy, poultry or eggs, fish. These things will cause the immortality to become obsolete. There's no way you can get the immortality by doing the things to bring immortality.
Right.
You know how to rest? You know, resting and relaxation and meditation is an art. You gotta learn how to get into those arts. Walking, breathing. We was doing some yoga today. And my love, I'm doing yoga all the time. Do it a little more often. I think dealing with I said, that's the key right there. Make your mind up what you want to do. That's all it is. Make your mind up, make up your mind.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we get ready to let you go because we get ready to get out of here ourselves. But we wanted to at least holler at you. Are you still in town?
I'm still in Cincinnati.
Oh, okay. All right. Beautiful. Yeah, I'll hit you back because I didn't get a chance to talk to you over the weekend. I was out of it, man. I had a fever. And...
As Zion asked that, I said, air was down them elements. I said, I know it's resting up. Because see, I remember twice this happened when I was to Georgia. And we did that. Resting up.
Yeah, we can't hear. Hey, Brother Air, we can't hear.
I was out. Yeah. So hey, I'm gonna let you go, but I'll be in touch. And Professor, we just wanted to holler at you.
Doing that work, making that stuff happen, especially these children. They getting it, it's plugging them in their neck.
Yeah. All right.
Get ready for that because we don't have children listening on this.
We will. Peace.
All right, peace.
Yeah, man. So we heard a little vibration from I don't know if people could hear her, but I just wanted folks to get her vibration.
Get the vibration.
And kind of vibe with us, like everybody is always on the same page.
Right.
Right. We don't switch up.
Right.
You ain't gonna hear, me talking a whole nother thing, We always talking about real basic stuff.
Right.
Cleansing, the transition.
You said, immortality, the basic things, the basic stuff.
Real basic. Hey, well, even those who don't really believe in that is nothing wrong with thinking about living forever. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
What's wrong with thinking about living forever?
Yeah.
How could you debate somebody who says, well, I just want to think about living forever?
Yeah.
Can't say nothing wrong with those thoughts. Cause then maybe he or she might get there.
Right.
Cause all we know is in a deaf culture, all you know is death. You ain't never lived in a life culture.
Right.
So this is what the transition is about too. It's transitioning to a life culture. A real culture of living longer than 50 or 60 or 70 years, man. We know just our heart and our intuitiveness of ancestralness know that we live longer than 60 and 70 years.
Right.
We know we're supposed to live longer than that. You know, hundreds and hundreds of years. We know that. That's nothing that can't be debated. But the problem is, in a deaf culture, you're dying at 30 and 40 and 25.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're saying that the Mucusless Diet Healing System is the first step on creating that reality.
Right.
That new reality of a life culture. First, we got to get over the hump.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. First, we have to eliminate, you know, the Macy's Day Parade,
Well,
and New Year's, and
well,
you know,
think about this. What institutes people who charge people with crimes of humanity? What institutes that?
What do you mean? What institutes it? Who does
well,
it? You know, I mean,
well,
who draws
I mean,
up the documents?
Okay. So you have crimes of humanity worldwide.
It's like any other system. You can, I mean, there's people that drew up all kinds of crimes against humanity over every one of our presidents. They didn't have the power to do anything to them. And so anybody can draw up crimes against humanity, against an individual, whether it be Bush, Obama, whoever, Trump. You can but who's got the power to enforce any kind of you know?
Okay, but you got the world of nations. You got, you know, that governing.
And what Dave Chappelle say in his skit with the Black Bush, where he's like, you know, not United Nations. He's like, well, what y'all gonna do? Y'all don't got no army,
right?
You gonna sanction us?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you and what army? You don't got no army.
But think about what the deaf culture has sanctioned as crimes of humanity, crimes against the earth. What would some of those be? So the point I'm trying to draw.
Well, it's all the things that they do.
That what we just were looking at. The Macy's Day. That's
a crime against humanity. Yeah,
right.
A crime against the earth, against humanity. The baseball game with the pizza and the hot dogs. You know, crime against humanity.
Crime against humanity. So we saying, like, there are real laws and people get charged with crimes against humanity.
Yeah. Well, people don't make the connection between, and a little earlier I showed the video, not the video, but the picture of the woman that's all hooked up in the hospital, talking about, you know, cancer runs in our family, and right below is all of the foods that they were eating at the cookout, at the barbecue, and that connection is not being made. People are suffering the results of the crimes that they have committed against humanity. They just don't know it. They're in prison and they don't know it. They're getting, every time when someone goes into the chronic illness state and they end up, you know, in a hospital, whatever they're going through, they're not making the connection that the way that I lived brought this on. They want to say this is a God thing, or they always want to blame something else other than the actions that they did that led to that situation.
Right. Well, I'm saying that we should now start drawing up some crimes of humanity and get it to the world courts.
And send it over. Yeah.
That we think is crimes of humanity. and start, what did I say? Complain.
Right, yeah, draw up the papers and
Keep complaining. Keep submitting. Keep submitting. Like they say, you keep knocking, somebody gonna answer.
Right.
We start, writing up these crimes against humanity. In our version of them.
Right. Yeah. One crime, forcing a child to be shot up with poison, or the parent is going to go to jail and they're going to take the child away.
Right.
Crime against humanity.
Right. You say, I don't want my child to be vaccinated. And then your reason is you're saying that take this vaccination shot because of something that I don't have that I might catch.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's, that's that. Now we're, getting into the real, the real crimes.
Yeah, that's the crime.
That's the crime. Take a child away because the parent is feeding the child fruits and green leafy vegetables.
And then exactly. And that's happening.
Right.
We deal with that all the time. People call us all the time about having problems with the courts because they have a vegan or vegetarian child that they're trying to feed, or infant.
Right.
And I get called all the time, man. Literally to the point, go to court with me. I'll be like, oh man, it's like, So yeah, those are things, man, that we have to start complaining about. If we want change, man, we gotta have to institute it ourselves. We're gonna have to create it ourselves, because the deaf, dumb, and blind are not hearing us, seeing us, or feeling us.
Yeah.
And you actually gotta, what they say about what do you say? Have mercy on children and animals. Like they don't know what they do. Forgive them, for they don't know what they do.
Mm.
And that's the way we have to look at grown adults.
Yeah.
Pus and mucus eaters. They know not what they do.
Right.
They're just completely deaf, dumb, and blind. They don't feel anything. They don't know anything. Drugs, like the heaviest drug, man. They're addicted to the heaviest drug.
Yeah.
And that's mucus and pus. That can't cocaine and heroin and alcohol and nicotine can't it pales in significance to mucus and pus.
Yeah.
Addiction.
Controlled substance. They want to control.
Yeah.
But they ain't controlling the beef and the all the animal, unless you're then what gets twisted is, depending on what country you're in, the cultural things about what animals you're allowed to eat. And so it's taboo. You're not allowed to eat dogs and cats in the United States, or in most Western countries. But there's places where dogs are, the roasted dog is like there. I'd show you pictures,
man,
just out there,
That's a delicacy, man.
So
Shoot.
the horse, people get, like, oh, I'm eating a horse. Well, what's the difference between a horse and the cow? Why is it all right to eat the cow, but you feel bad about eating a horse? Now you're getting into the type of just skewed logic that the pus and mucus world creates.
dogs are pets, but you know, some places they eat dog. So
Yeah, well, but some people have turkeys as pets.
right, exactly.
You know, and all different animals. Someone got it as a pet, and so
I was riding around. Me and Dr. Drum was riding around one day, and we seen a little girl. She must have been about 15, 16 years old, walking a big old pig with a leash.
yeah, walk.
In one of the Cincinnati neighborhoods.
Yeah,
walking,
well, that's
just like a dog.
Yeah,
and I said to myself, and then we were out in a Caucasian neighborhood, and believe me, no brother or no sister be able to walk no pig in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
She was just walking the pig like it was. I mean, we talking a big pig. We ain't talking about no little bitty one. We talking about a really big one.
Yeah. Well,
And
hey.
she was just walking them, man, with a leash around them. And I said, boy, it's like a whole other world they live it out here.
Yes, that's Porkopolis, you know, good old, yeah. Don't get, Let's not get started on Cincinnati because we'll get stuck talking mess about that.
Well,
And,
I mean, Cincinnati,
because that's just another day. That's just a normal another day.
Yeah,
the nasty natty.
It's up south. This is up south.
Yeah.
You don't get no more country than you do here. Yeah. I mean, very antebellum. White folks love it though. They love living in Cincinnati. Boy, I love living in Cincinnati because they got so much stuff to do.
Man, like I said, don't get me started because I don't. I mean, only. What I don't understand is with all the money that's supposed to be there, y'all can't get organized enough to the bare minimum have some roads, be able to drive. I drove from here way south, and only Cincinnati and coming out of Columbus were the only places on over 1,000 miles of road that was totally impassable, that just terrible. Right. And it's been like that for years.
Right.
Since I was 5 years old, they've been doing the same construction. So disorganized. You can't. You would think like if I had money, if I had money, I wouldn't want to live someplace that they couldn't even get to. They couldn't get organized enough to even put together a highway.
You're right.
Why would I want to be there? You can't even put a highway together.
I mean, it's
nasty.
It's bad. It's bad on so many levels, man. I mean, this is such a race. I mean, the racism is just thick. I mean, it's thick, just like I mean, you can feel it. It's so thick. And what happens is the brothers and sisters around here just, if you can't beat them, join them. So they look at you like you crazy when you oppose them. Right. And try to, you know, be about righteousness. So but you know, I don't care, you know, and that's part of the whole busting piece for me was a civil rights, human rights type of issue too.
Right.
You know, a way of creating something that I could be adversarial with them and have them in my face. You know, and in this case, bitching about playing music. You know, that's all this conversation is about is people bitching about playing music. Bitching about you playing music, about me, and really it's about black guys. It ain't about the music, it's about black guys. Because that was all that was busted, was maybe 3 or 4 black guys in the city was busted. And they were like the Gestapo.
Yep. Yeah, welcome to, you know.
So, you know, it's been
Cincinnati.
it's been a great training ground for me, man, you know, because I learned how to confront and question authority.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I've been right up in their ass, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and I just, you know, I don't back down, and you know, and some of the things that have been said to me by by authorities, police. I mean, a policeman said to me one day about, he didn't say nothing to me. He had been doing the traffic. He had been doing the traffic right in front of me and my son for the event. Didn't say one word, standing 3-4 feet away from us. Didn't say one word for 2 hours. Then when we packing up, he comes over real snidely and says, do you pay taxes on that money? Because he had seen we got paid that day, you know. I mean, like a ton of money, filled the bucket up, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And the only thing he could say to us was, do you pay taxes on that money? I looked at him and went off on him. My son had to get between us.
Oh dear.
Because I'm like, who are you, the IRS? And he walked away. As soon as I told him, I said, well, then what you do is you go get your supervisor and tell him what you just asked me.
Right.
And he just walked away and turned around and walked away and went off duty.
Yeah, yeah.
No reason whatsoever to ask me about, do I pay taxes on that money? What has that got to do with you? You're a police doing traffic down here.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and this and that, but you know, now we getting into, like I said, we could sit here for the next hours. This is
the typical stuff.
Well, I'm not even
in Cincinnati that other people of color don't want to be adversaries.
Well, hold on.
And they won't even question. They won't even do anything to rise that kind of confrontation out of them. They're so in line. They so stepping in line. You know, hey, you know, we're right with you, and you know, and pledge allegiance to the pus and mucus, and, you know, and so all of that is a part of this whole life culture, changing the life culture. It has to be done in ways of complaining and being very adversarial, but being very adversarial smart. You know what I mean? Using your head and going right there to the edge. You don't want to cross the line, but right there, you know.
Yeah. Well, but that I mean, that's part of each person's, like we're gonna do that differently. You know, everybody kind of, everybody, because everybody's got different role to play in the revolution.
Fine. Just do it then. Just do whatever your role is. Make it happen. I'm down with that. But make it happen. But the thing is, when you say that, folks don't think they got anything to do. They don't think that they have anything to do now. They just think they can just slip by. And when you say that, yeah, you got to create how you gonna help change this culture. What you gonna do?
Right.
See, I'm definitely about that, as I know that I have my purpose and I have my agenda of what my job is. I know where I'm functioning at, and I know what I'm doing, and I know how to do it. But most people who won't come up with anything for themselves because it's easy to play it safe.
Well, we was talking earlier about the roles. You know, people play the roles that they was given, and we're talking about you are breaking away from that, and
well, we're talking about practitioners, and practitioners now are, if you're practicing the mucusless diet, you are giving another role now.
Yeah.
If you're trying to put yourself back together again, now your role changes.
Right.
So I'm just saying, accepting your challenge, accepting it. Don't try to run from it, run to it.
Mm-hmm.
But be smart, and that's what the whole practice is about, is having clarity, getting this thing done without losing bodies.
Yeah. And that's kind of one of the videos I got coming out. I talked about that might be coming out. I can't remember if it come out today or tomorrow, but just about the revolutionary nature. It is the most revolutionary lifestyle, and I broke that down because we also got to understand, we talking to a lot of people. So me and you came before we were into the diet. We were interested in the history of revolution and activism, and we relate to that. So we got to understand, a lot of we got to introduce that to a lot of people, because they don't know anything about that. They weren't fans of Malcolm X. They hadn't read autobiography of Malcolm X. They didn't study the Black Panther Party. They didn't study whatever, So we got to understand, when we talk like this, that there's a large gap that we got to help people fill to get to what we're talking about.
I had a famous jazz musician that's over 40 tell me that. Just what you're saying. They didn't know nothing about the culture as far as that, and this is something new for them to find out about, waking up like that. So I definitely understand that.
Yeah, because the way I put it, which I thought I put it pretty well, which was like, if you're somebody that had no interest in being a revolutionary, now you have to deal with, you've been given something that's the most revolutionary thing on the planet.
So
so now you got to make that decision. What are you gonna do? And that's what Brother Air tried to say with you're being challenged now. So you might have wanted to lead a life where you have nothing to do with revolution, nothing to do with change. You just want to try to fit in, and
you want to be a pacifist.
Yeah. You want to just get along, and so now you're being presented with a challenge that is going to take you out of that role, into a very revolutionary type of role, and that's so that's what we're talking about, and that's the kind of work. That's the work of this. Then that's what I'm saying. The work isn't always laying there for 40 days trying to fast when you don't even need to be fasting.
Right.
That ain't that ain't the hardcore. That ain't the hardcore part of this. The hardcore part of this is what we've been talking about this whole time. How hardcore can you be assailing the social dynamics of this?
Yeah.
And speaking truth to pus power.
Right.
Can you do that? That's the work. And that's the work that people think the work is, I did this, this fast, I did this. Nah, the work is like you were saying, can you deal with, totally going in a different direction.
But see, you said something that's so significant, man, about, as you say, doing the work and really doing the work in terms of the mucusless diet healing system. And that's what edged on my long fasting. That's why, man, because
right.
when I first did the 8.5 months, you were there, watching that. And we were like getting in. We were
the vibration,
getting into some shit.
Yeah.
it wasn't. I mean, but I needed that kind of clarity,
Right.
to go to where we were stepping it up.
Right.
My job was to step it up.
Yeah. Right.
Was to step it up. That was my job for the community.
Right.
That was forming around what was happening. My job was to step it up.
Right.
And the fasting was a tool.
Right.
But we stepped it up to such a level.
Yeah.
That it was like we were like in everybody's face. Man. We were like, man, we were like, like you talking about.
What you say? Walking in places like, can we give your autograph? And nobody know who we are. They just know it's something. The vibration.
It was wow. It was wow because it was things. It was. I remember one of the first protests you came to with us when we were out there, and me and the guy were getting ready to fight.
Yeah.
And you and Vic were guys.
Yeah, we're like, oh wow, this is about to go down here. Yeah.
And it was like we were way away from the activity.
Yeah.
And this cat came way over there to mess with us.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I was like, man, look, we ain't even with the activity. And then that turned out to be a day that they ended up putting us on the stage.
Yeah.
With our sign.
Right.
It completely turned around. The whole day was like, here they were being adversary. At the end of the day, they put me up on stage with my sign.
Yeah.
I think you remember the sign that I had. We had a bunch of signs, but you remember the one sign, the 1 in 29.
Yeah.
Remember that sign?
Yeah.
And that's the one I took on stage with me.
Yeah.
We have to give props to Pastor Damon Lynch.
Yeah.
Who was and still, he helps us out immensely.
Yeah.
With what we're doing. Even though he's not practicing, we be on him too.
Yeah.
He'll sit and listen and but he always tries to put us in positions of teaching what we know.
Right.
He's really an advocate. That's one thing I can say, that he really is. He really has. He hasn't turned his back on me in that way.
Right.
So that was those were days, man, and Professor was coming up and watching all this, and he was hanging. He was like I don't really know what's going on, but I'm gonna be here.
Yeah. I was like,
I'm gonna be hanging. I'm gonna hang with these cats and see what's going on. Vic was out there, and then it just started, man. We just, I remember. You remember the one protest we went where Takora was like the Pied Piper.
Yeah. They had all the signs and the kids was making the signs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man, that was beautiful, man.
Yeah, it was an animals eating animals sign.
Yeah, animals eating animals sign, and we
might have had a soul food, kill more black people, the KK Clay sign. Yeah,
we had a few of those, and Takora just had all these little young children, like 7 or 8 or 10 of them, just following like the Pied Piper around their little festivities.
Right.
So that was real. That was real.
Cause that was the one that was just they had just disgusting in there where they was what was the name of that show? Fear Factor. They had like a Fear Factor thing where they had all these poor people in there and they already giving away all this free food. So it's like they gave away a bunch of hot dogs and all this crap, but it was like they were, I forget the exact prize, but it was something like a steak dinner or something. I mean, it was
remember that now.
Yeah.
Man, you got a good memory. I remember that. That was weird.
Yeah,
What was that about?
Yeah, it was just like, it was this fear factor thing. So, I mean, that's just disgusting because you got all these like poor people that are trying to get food. And so in order to do that, they have them doing like, you know, eating a horse penis and that type of like fear factor type of stuff.
Yeah, we were up in there trying to, and you remember there was a few people who were feeling very uncomfortable about protesting.
Yeah.
You know, we ain't gonna say. You know, but we were out there like in
like
full regalia.
Just
and doing it up, you know.
Right, yeah.
So,
people try to, you know, like we, you know, doing the music and the chant, and people be trying to give money, and we're like, nah, we don't want no money. This ain't a money thing. We out here protesting.
Right. We were on like the main street in Cincinnati. For those who don't live in Cincinnati, it's a street called Reading Road. We were right on that street where there's just a million cars coming up and down, you know. So it was there was a nice sunny day, and you know, that was a very, very, you know, and so I mean that's just like another one of the protests, because we went to plenty of places and just caused havoc.
Just just show up and just what can we do to just make everybody uncomfortable in here.
And the beautiful thing about that period is that when we started doing the documentaries about, you know, like we go into Whole Foods with the children. And oh man, we were just on high alert. You know, like really, so yeah, you know, we would go through the Whole Foods and ask them about certain things, and that was the children of the sun.
Right.
And then we went to the
and we would keep getting kicked out, you know, because we would go to Kroger's and be in there filming, and there's this one where this old lady was taking some eggs or something, and the kids were like making faces at and stuff, and then they come and it was like, you guys have to please. And then we would go when we was in the mall, and that was like the first time a bunch of folks had even been in a mall.
It's like a mall. What is a
like
mall?
in the food court, you know, same thing. We was in about 2 minutes. They're like, can you please stop filming? You know, cops come up and stuff.
And then we went and did a documentary, which that's out on YouTube, the one at the health fair.
Yeah, that's all like clips. I think the long version of that has clips of all of that. So there's clips from where we was at Kroger and Whole Foods and and that thing. Yeah, the health fair.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I mean, that was closing the health gap.
Where
that was their first year of throwing a health fair, and it was just
where Spring Grove Cemetery is there selling folks cemetery plots at the health fair. Man,
it was deep. So yeah, we've been into this thing, man, and trying to wage war on it for a while. And so now we, you know, this has all come to the level of Mucus-free-life.com, and you know, the annotated versions of the books and things. I mean, we put the work in. And the work has the elevation of the work has gotten greater.
Right.
You know, as far as just always working at it. The Ehret Day celebration. We're committed. We're committed to Arnold Ehret and practicing the system. We're committed. And so, you know, I mean, we for real, man. I mean, we are no joke with this. And we're not going to do everything right all the time, but most of the time we're going to get it right, because we are doing what it takes to get it right. We study. We don't react.
Yeah.
You know, we think me and Spira have hours and hours of conversation about things.
Yeah. Yep.
That we're talking about doing. I mean, we just don't come up with something in just 5 minutes. All right, okay, I'll see you later. No, we talk about it for months sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and advise, we get to core in on it, and we ask, what that feminine vibration is about, and we just try to see if we're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And because this isn't, no kind of a dictatorship. This is like, we're trying to come together. But the one thing we do know is that we know each other's fortes.
Yeah.
We know what we do good, and we don't get in the way of each other's fortes.
Right.
We just let it flow. And so we're trying to take the whole mucusfreelife.com to levels that we can't even see the levels of greatness that this thing can go to.
Right.
And that you can be involved in the greatness of it.
Yeah.
This isn't about me or Professor or Takora, or this isn't about that. This is about the greatness of the clans.
Right.
The greatness of the level of humanity that we can achieve. Serving each other is what this thing is about. The highest level of humanity. And trying to sustain, and like we say, immortality. There's nothing wrong with thinking that you're gonna live forever.
Mm.
What's the alternative? If you don't think you're gonna live forever, what do you think? Well, I'm gonna die. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Pay.
Well, in the pus and mucus world, that the response to that is, well, that's not responsible.
Well,
you have to you gotta be we're all die sometime.
Well, okay. This is the way I'll deal with that. Is that as long as I'm thinking about me, me living, as long as I can live. If I don't, then it's kind of like I didn't do it. You know what I mean? It was okay. So I don't think of me not doing it. You know what I mean? But if I don't do it, then that's just a part of what happened. You know what I mean? Well, I didn't make it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about it in terms of, okay, I gotta go. I gotta, no, I'm thinking about, I'm living forever. I'm acting like I'm doing the things that I must do to live forever. Because think about it. If everybody's eating and dying, then why don't we stop eating? I mean, that's simple.
Yep.
I mean, that's the one that you should put on the T-shirt.
Right.
Because that's very simple, and you can't get no more simple than that. And I'm saying that if everybody is eating and dying, then why don't we stop eating? Because we know what's happening. The folks who eating and dying, we know what's happening there.
Right.
So, how do you stop eating? Well, here's the Mucusless Diet Healing System. This is a transition away from food. This is a transition with using food to transition away from eating food.
Right. Well, and that's where we get into, like I was talking about earlier. Everybody's goal is gonna be different.
Right.
You know, 'cause, you know, and it changes as you evolve, because most people are not gonna read the book and see that or interpret it that way.
Who wants to die?
I don't know. There's a lot of people want to die. They take themselves out every day.
Okay, well,
suicide rates are up.
Well, I mean, those are not the folks who are going to be practicing the Mucusless Diet Healing System.
Yeah.
And you remember that story about the guy who left the Mucusless Diet Healing System to his mother? You remember I told you a story? This guy had worked at a health food store that I was frequenting in Madeira.
Mm.
And we talked for years, a couple of years, got to know this guy. I mean, he would literally, like, he worked there, but he would literally sit at a booth with me because they had like a little, not really a restaurant, but just a little place over there in this health food store that you could sit in. He would just sit there and talk to me. And we would talk for hours, literally hours, man. I mean, he would be at work, and we would get into some heavy things, man. A little younger guy than I was, but very intelligent, just very humble and just very respectful. And I hadn't been in for about maybe 3 months. And one of the guys who came up and he said, "Yeah, man," he said, "You heard about the gentleman?" He said, "No." He said, "No." He said, "You know, he committed suicide." I was like, "What?" And the cat told me, he said, "Man, he had a whole list of books that he left for his mother, and the Mucusless Diet was." And I mean, this guy was just quizzing me, man, and just going through back and forth. And I don't know but he had planned out his suicide like to the T.
Mm.
And I had no clue, of course, I didn't have no clue that, but I mean, he was asking about just questions about the Mucusless Diet, immortality, and we were just, really getting into some things. And next thing I know, man, this cat, he had been planning his, because the guy who was telling me this was kind of like a guy who befriended him and had like a business of like talking to people, like a psychiatrist almost. This guy who was telling me that this guy had committed suicide.
Mm.
And it messed with me for a little while, because I'm telling you, me and him had exchanged a lot of information with each other. And when I heard that the Mucusless Diet was a list that he had left, he left a book, the book out.
What the book? So what? This was a book for his mom to read, or?
Yeah, it was like a book. I mean, they were literally books that he had got, because they had ordered, this health food store didn't have that book, and they ended up getting it in. And they had them in. Once they got them in, they got about maybe about 10 of them in, so they were there now, and so I could tell people where to come and get them now, since they were there at that place.
Yeah.
So we just used to talk about Ehret, and he would have all these questions about Ehret. And we would just go back and forth about different things, and man, and that blew me away, man. I mean, they say his suicide was so methodical and so like thought out, and just, said, wow. I would have I never got that kind of vibe from him. That he had been planning, and he had been talking to me, gathering information for what he wanted to leave.
Mm-hmm.
It's heavy. So, it took a while to get over that. Like, wow, what did that mean? Like, so that was something.
Mm. Yeah.
So you never know, man. You never know where cats are at, and mucus and pus, boy.
Yeah. Well, that's why my approach is the way it is, because I'm working to put the information out there so it's available, and that's my mission is to put the information out, and
we thank you, and we talked about this 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Remember what I said? If you accept your mission,
right. Yep.
And you kind of looked at me like, okay,
it's about to.
And we went on that journey. From then on, it was heavy, man.
Yeah,
I mean, the way that we socialized, and it was just a lot of stuff, man, that wasn't even questioned. It was just, we just did things.
We just
traveled, and we it was like I would get a call for a gig, and you would come with me, and next minute you on the gig.
Right.
We would be like that, kind of vibe. Like, if I'm gonna do a gig, if I'm gonna play music, he gonna be here too.
Right.
We're gonna be, and it was just that kind of vibe. And we just started, man, coming up with things, and then meeting people, and the community just started growing. Actually, it was almost like when you came into the fold, it was like the community really got a shot.
Yeah.
Because we started doing the home meeting.
Yeah, the round tables.
And actually, Khalid actually mentioned that we should start doing that before the year is out, or maybe at the beginning of the year, 2020, maybe at the beginning of the fiscal year. He wanted to do that again.
Do one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, with almost, I guess there would be a few people not there that wasn't, I guess.
Yeah, maybe some new, little.
Yeah, but we would have, certain people. We get Bizak, Bizak, because you remember those days when Bizak and Twizzy was coming in, and we ended up doing a couple that day.
Yeah,
because
right.
Bizak and Twizzy
came later, yeah.
And they came with about 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
And so then we started up another one, Into the Night.
Yeah. Yep.
You remember?
Because
we were there all day.
Yeah.
With Khalif and Takora and Mawusi and all of the whole crew. And,
right.
And Anita and everybody. And then Bizak and Twizzy was coming through, and they ended up coming through.
Right.
And then we did a whole nother
session. Yeah.
We didn't tape that one though.
No. Yeah. Unless they did. They might have, because they used to tape everything. They go to a bunch of different.
But we did that Into the Night, like 1, 2 in the morning.
Yep.
And we were getting into some heavy stuff, and so that was how we used to do it, man. We would, get together and have everybody, and so that's another one for the listeners. that haven't seen those videos, go look those up on YouTube.
Yeah, the old, it's like some of the first videos on the channel.
Look
like
at
2006.
Pleasantly Plump Professor.
Yeah.
He looks totally different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And he was sitting there and being very active in the conversation. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, I was listening a lot. You know, I was really like focused in and analyzing everything. But then, you know, my questions, I was like, wait a minute. You know, wanted to hear responses.
And we had Vic on the phone.
Yeah. Yep.
We had Vic on the phone, and so we had him on speakerphone. And so it was, whole little community was forming, man. And so to go back and look at those videos, those on YouTube, it'd be interesting to go back and listen to things that we were talking about then. And we still got to do that. Children of the Sun, where are they now?
Right.
Yeah, I told Khalif about that. We laughed, man. We were like, but where are they now?
Right.
And pretty much most of those, the Children of the Sun, are still hanging in there.
Yeah.
You know, really into the living. So
yeah.
You know, so that's been a good thing, man. So you know.
So yes, I think we just crossed our 4-hour mark. So
hey,
we made
man, we got fired up and wound up today, huh?
Yeah.
I guess you really hate Thanksgiving.
Hey. You know, that was fun sitting there watching and heckling the Macy's Day Parade.
Oh man, I enjoyed that. I didn't know you was gonna pop that in, and then that was like, wow, look at how sick we are.
Yeah.
That took it to a whole other level there.
Right.
Wow.
So we're gonna wrap up this what will be the 10th episode of the Mucus-free Life podcast, the ThanksKilling address. And so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're still on here, if you're on here at this point, you should already be a subscriber. So I should have to tell you to hit the subscribe button and go down below. You should already be in the Mucusless Diet Healing System e-course. Have all the books. If you this far in, I'm just assume I don't even tell you to get it. I'm assume you already got all that. So I appreciate you plugging in. Yeah, thank you
for hanging in there.
Yeah, much
we
love
know
and
these
gratitude.
Can be long and kind of we go all over the place.
Yeah. You know. So Mucus-free, laying down. Just trying to lay down this information and put a little bit of inspiration in everybody. You know, you ain't alone. Those of you that's having trouble, that's going through it, you know, just understand that we here and we know what you're going through.
Yeah.
And so until next time, this Professor Spira,
Brother Air. Hey, thank you for tuning in this long and hanging.
Yep. All
Peace.
right. Peace, love, and breath.